jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
What's good, everyone? WCS back on deck with another one. Shout out to the supporters as always, man. You already know what it is. We back with it. Big Blunts and Boxing on deck. Mr. Pass on deck. Shaw News the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw. Team Tucker on deck. What's good? Yeah, WCS thumbnails are hilarious at times. Yeah, whole point. You know what I'm saying? This right here, man, if you haven't looked in the details of the YouTube channel, I did write some questions down there. Like, once again, these questions are to be as broad as you want. I mean, these questions are for you to answer them as broad as you want them to be answered, because I believe they actually are pertinent to what's going on in the YouTube community, YTC. All right. So let's start off with the situation that has been spoken on so many times. We've taken countless amount of days in talking about this situation. When you heard the leaked audio, right? What did you say to yourself? Did you feel like, okay, I'm putting myself in a position, right? And I'm having a conversation with either one of y'all. I never disclosed that I was recording the conversation with you, but just so happened months from now, weeks, I decided to release it. Just because it felt like it could clear up any type of, concerns or defamation on my end on how the situation actually happened or went down in social media. You know what I'm saying? If we supposed to have made a deal and somehow we allowing it to play out on social media, and to clear things up, I just dropped the audio. Do you feel somebody was betrayed on that audio? How is the audio being recorded? Is that common protocol for it to be recorded? Because I'm just looking at it like this. I don't think Spence would have said, I don't want to fight Thurman. I told Al I don't want to fight that dude. Do you feel if he would have known that he was being recorded, he wouldn't have mentioned anything about the fight in January? Fighting in January 2023. Do you think he would have been a lot smarter if he would have known that he was being recorded? This is the sneaky part about boxing. And I'm going to say something probably none of you have heard on the YTC period that may help you out moving forward. Okay? It may help out any channel that's moving forward, any listeners that's moving forward. Because listen, if you stay too close to the YTC streets, if you put your ear to the streets too long, it will change the way you behave in life. Seriously, because a lot of us is drawn into negativity. If you stay too close to the YTC community, this is the jungle. It will change the way you act as a human being. All right? So I'm going to tell you something that should put you in a different state of mind from this day forward. All right? Boxing is a non-regulated sport. We have been close to it for the test of time, right? We've seen so many situations occur in the ring where fighters was robbed. We hear so many stories of contracts being worded and not worded a certain way. Fighters being shelved because they signed their career away. They wasn't able to fight. Fighters not getting paid what they said they was going to get paid. Promotions not doing what they supposed to be doing when it comes to, helping out a fighter. It's too many areas of concern, right, that we know about boxing. Especially when fighters are losing titles, losing fights, and we know the fight should have went the other way. We're looking at the dang referee help this shit play out. The judges help this shit play out. The commission, the promotion. It's too many players in the game in boxing. This is a tough sport. And it's no regulation. There's nobody to answer to unless you do something criminal. You know what I'm saying? Unless you do something criminal like James Butler. When James Butler punched Franklin, that was criminal. You know what I'm saying? He took his gloves off. His opponent came over there. They had just competed in their rematch. And Butler lost. And he punched the man. He ended up going to Rikers Isle, man. You feel me? So peep this out. Being that we understand that we are supporting a sport that is non-regulated. It is not regulated. Know that you are on YouTube and it has similar non-organizational skills, a similar structure that is to boxing. It does. It's like a non-regulated social media platform that allows you to come in here and compete. And look, you probably saying to yourself, I'm not competing with anybody. Yeah, you are. We all competing to come in here and continue to grow something, right? But the competition becomes a problem when we see the internal wars developing. We see the deception. We see the defamatory verbal sparring going back and forth on social media. This is not a regulated platform, so to speak, to talk about boxing. It is supervised, it is monitored and everything else, but this too, anything can happen. Anything can happen. We've seen it play out. You know what I'm saying? Dudes dropping links behind the scene. You know what I'm saying? Videos being made on other people. You know what I'm saying? Shit is public record. Shit is public record that goes on here. It's very minimal supervision when it comes to us. Self-accountability. We don't have accountability for self. So we able to go ahead and do what the hell we want to do. And it doesn't always work out, man. You know what I'm saying? You meet people, you unmeet people. You meet people, you unmeet people. You know what I'm saying? You friend people, you unfriend people. You sub, you unsub. That's the way it is. The YTC is just like boxing. There's no regulation. It's no organization between us. So as I look at my thumbnail, the Y.T.B.C, where's the deadline to all this shit? Where's the deadline to all this? Because this particular platform right here seems to be very, very heavy on channels that's created independently. And you don't have to have prerequisites to speak on a sport to create a channel. So a lot of people that's creating channels to speak on boxing, they don't know everything they need to know on boxing. So what do? They go out on the YouTube streets in the Serengeti, and they go out here and listen to other channels and build up their knowledge base, And depending on who they listening to, they begin to gain traction out here. You know what I'm saying? But listen, you'll find out that you can easily separate the ones who's going around YouTube listening to these channels and the ones who's actually reading about the sport of boxing. Y'all have to understand that this is a non-regulated social media platform. It's a lot of bullshit that goes on this social media. Real talk. You have to understand, if you are trying to say you're strictly a boxing fan and a fanatic, and that's the sport you want to support all the time, be willing and able to understand that when you come over here to the YTC, you're going to experience some of the disappointments, shit that's unacceptable, poor behavior. You're going to experience all that over here. And you're going to have to know how to filter through that shit. But let's talk about that situation with Errol Spence. He may be indeed mandated to face Thurman. This is the same fighter, Errol Spence, that said he told Al Haymon he didn't want to fight that guy. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to the rest of these. Errol Spence was on record as saying he didn't want to fight Keith Thurman. Why don't Errol Spence want to fight Keith Thurman? And why don't I hear the Pro Spence channel saying that's a duck? I'm just being petty. That's a duck. He said he verbally tapped out. He said he didn't want to fight Thurman. That's what he said. The Riddick Bowe situation was a different. You know, when his manager Rock came up there and pulled, that was wholly different. I'm talking about two different fighters, if that's what you're saying. Recording or not, Spence has been on record saying he's not fighting Thurman. Well, I wasn't just talking about Thurman. I was pretty much encompassing, you know, the fight not happening this year. Him saying he told Al he's not gonna fight Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Him getting back from Disney World when there's supposed to be negotiations happening. This wasn't after negotiation. This, you know, he's at Disney World why, you know, you have all these people out here thinking that negotiations is ongoing and we stuck to negotiations. I mean, it's just too many unanswered timelines that we're not privy to. We're not there. Everybody want to say that the contract, you know, depending on what channel you on, they use contract or term sheet. The contract was sent, and Terrence Crawford sat on it in the process of trying to negotiate a fight with David Avanesian, which is totally false. You know what I'm saying? They was never planning to make this fight to begin with in 2022. So if you're looking at this gift, right? My point in playing this is exactly what they wanted Terrence Crawford to do for the year 2022. They wanted him to just sit there and kill his career. The man don't have that much time remaining in his career, but they wanted to be sure, since this man haven't fought since last November, they wanted him to go all the way through 22 into 2023, and it's not even a guarantee he would have fought Errol Spence at the beginning of the first semester of 23. They just want that man to sit up here and wait and wait and wait. And peep this out, though. Peep this out on my thumbnail. All right? Peep this out. The term sheet had no deadline for negotiations. It was no deadline, man. Just like there's no deadline to the bullshit here on Y.T.B.C. on how individual channels report on certain topics that's very, very hot. It depends on who you listen to. There's no deadline to it. It can continue to go on and on and on and on. This situation, Spence Crawford, the negotiations had no deadline. It was no deadline for which the dang negotiations had to expire. You know, for Terrence Crawford to sign the damn, you know, to make everything right. It was no deadline for him to complete his side. So I'm getting the understanding that PBC was playing games and delaying, procrastinating on purpose. It was nothing that Crawford could do. Crawford would have been sitting there forever and ever, going through the holidays into the New Year's, wondering if he's going to get the dang Errol Spence fight. Now, y'all have to be smart and educated to know that he did not have a promoter. So when you hear that he didn't trust his attorneys That makes sense because he wasn't quite sure of everything that was going on. That's why he paid people to be a part of that. That's why promotion helped him carry out those duties while he was signed to them, and he didn't have to. That wasn't a part of his schedule. That wasn't a part of his bucket list on things to complete. Top Rank was handling that. But when you out here on your own and you're hiring attorneys and you want to make sure you're not locked in, a sense of paranoia can come over you because this is important. Like signing these contracts out here in boxing is very, very important. So if you, the fighter, know how to read, your attorneys know how to read, that means you two can read together. Y'all can read this shit together and discuss it. If the fighter is not sure on what's the language is saying it in this term sheet and shit like that, read it together. Two minds is better than one. Willie Cole on deck, salute to you. Two minds is better than one. These niggas wasn't real niggas before they got on the net. I can say that about a lot. Yes, sir. I can say that about a lot. Carl, what's good? The whole YouTube going crazy over the audio. This is truly a jungle. That's why I want to speak on this audio shit. Because the funny part about this audio coming out, it says a lot about Errol Spence in general. First of all, I could barely understand a word the man was saying. It was it was garbled. You had to pay attention. Slurred speech. I don't know if he was feeling some type of way. I don't want to put no sense of inebriation on him. I don't want to say that he was enjoying some type of recreational, enhancement. I'm not gonna do that. I just know I can barely understand what the fuck he was talking about. For one, I don't know why this is okay, but I can barely understand what the fuck he's talking about. And he's way younger than me. You know what I'm saying? He's way younger than me. Second of all, how are they going to recover from this leaked audio? Like, has Spence called up Espinosa and say, what was that audio about? Has he called up Al and say, Al, what's that audio about? Because Al could have been the one that told Steven Espinosa to record this shit. Because from what I'm getting, it's all for one and all for me. When it comes for him, when it comes to him, it's all for him. You know what I'm saying? So did he tell Steven Espinosa to record Errol Spence? Why would Errol Spence know that he wasn't being recorded and talking as freely as he was? You can tell it was a genuine conversation because he said, I just got back from Disney World. He just talking. But he was being recorded, dog. Now, it can be from a third party. You know what I'm saying? If you have a Droid, if you have an iPhone, man, you can damn near be recorded from anywhere. So we don't know who's recording. It might have been somebody else in the head office that was recording Spence. But it doesn't look good, brother. It doesn't look good that now the audio is leaked. All of a sudden they mandating him potentially to face Keith Thurman. After he said he didn't want to face Keith Thurman. Now that makes Errol Spence look bad. Now what's the narrative? I love it in a sense. I do love it. I love it. The reason why I love this is because it provides the pro Spence fans a different topic to speak on other than Crawford. They have to speak on this because shit is crumbling down before their very face, man. This shit is crumbling on the YTC. It's been crumbling for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? If you have fractures in the base, the building's going to come down sooner or later. I'm not saying they built up a building here in the YTC, but they was pretending like the structure meant something, like the pro Spence fans was building up a union, and the shit was never that way. But now Crawford's out of the picture. Now we got to talk about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman has never been one of those guys where they truly wanted to hate on this dude. Yeah, he was out the sport. Yeah, they say he used to be one time and then sometime and then no time. You know what I'm saying? You hear them say that. He used to be sometime. You know what I'm saying? After he was out of the sport. He was sometime. He ain't no time. Let's leave that alone. He used to be sometime. And then when he was sometime, he went to no time because he was out. Nobody couldn't find out what the fuck he was doing. And then somehow, some way, video surfaced, and he was up there in some white guard playing a motherfucking vuvuzela. Errol Spence is on top of the mountain peak playing the vuvuzela and shit, finding himself with his ponytail, you know. But I kind of like this. Real talk. I kind of like that they're mandating Spence to do something, because as you already know, it's been a while before he fought, you know, since he fought his mandatory. Boot somehow, some way is fighting somebody else. So he's not going to be the next one in line, right? And then Virgil Ortiz, he's supposed to be fighting somebody else, which is quite different than what we was hearing before, that Spence may fight Stanthionis. Well, Virgil Ortiz might fight Stanthionis now. This boxing shit is just crazy, man. But I like what's going on after we've been led along, puppetized the entire year 2022. Now this shit has came down and it's crumbled, evaporated, and now you have Crawford over there in Omaha trying to work with BOK Prime. You have Errol Spence. We don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. All we know is the shit on why we're talking about him right now really don't have anything to do with boxing per se. It's all about leaked audio. No loyalty, man. Where's the loyalty to your guy? You put the man out there on audio, and then they coming out saying he mandated to face the same guy he said he told Al Heyman he wasn't gonna fight. This shit is some backstabbing type shit. I'll tell you, boxing is just like the YTC is just like boxing. Boxing is like the YTC. It's no structure. It's no organization to this shit. So y'all gotta be careful on how you frolic around this and listen to certain channels over and over and over again without listening to the other ones. You have to listen to the other channels. You have to listen to the channels you don't like. You don't have to listen to the entire video, but you have to see where people are getting this information from. Because there's certain channels out here that's just talking, and that shit is way off the mark. But they're pushing a narrative. I need to go back and listen to the Espinosa audio I dropped. Yeah, you need to do that. That shit is all over social media, and everybody have their own talking points. I heard weeks ago now on Joe Haran War a Week radio channel, PBC was planning Spence vs. Crawford on February 4th, MGM Grand, Las Vegas. That's what Joe had heard through his contacts. Well, hey, thanks for dropping that gem there, Toby. I have this question. The rumor was out there, right? Now everybody is saying that it was supposed to be February. But why not the backlash when Espinosa was on here saying that the fight date for November isn't quite dead yet? If they had, if their internal plans was to fight 2023 in February, why waste our time? This is time that we can't get back. Why the fuck you wasted our time, man? That's fucked up. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's fucked up. Why waste our time? If it was February 4th, why do people not listen to what I say about boxing being the hocus pocus of combat sports? I told you all that boxing is full of magical, black magic, tricks, witchcraft, connections, private organizations, fraternities, under the table handshakes, grip and grin photos. That's boxing, man. Why string us along? Why string us along like this? And you look, I'm looking at it like this. We can't be mad at the boxers for saying the fight's gonna happen, the fight can't happen. People always love to use Bernie and saying that he talked to the champ and champ say that the fight is happening in November. Well, goddamn it, what if Crawford believed the fight was gonna happen in November? What if he just found out, like we did, well, a little ways before we did, that they had no intentions of fighting in November? You had to understand that Crawford, you know, in the midst of his training for this fight, he found out some information finally, and people were probably telling him, hey, this fight ain't happening this year, champ. If you want to fight this year, you better find a different opponent. You better find some plan B for this fight to happen, because this fight ain't happening this year. Hey, those of you that's in the chat, can you hear this music that's playing on StringYard? Can you hear this music or not? I'm just curious. Can you hear it? Just put a Y in the chat, or N for no. Y for yes, N for no. Can y'all hear it? I'm just curious. Once upon a time. Let's see. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mr. Pats. Appreciate that, Toby. Appreciate that, Jim. Appreciate that, Jim. Blunt say ESPN did say something about Spence fighting Thurman, even though he knows Spence doesn't want to fight. I think it's good. Fans want to see some fights, it seems like. This is my point, what I was trying to make to everyone, right? About this Thurman situation. Don't act like that was our focus just several weeks ago. Don't act like we're built like that. We're programmed like that. All right? We use the term sometimes selective amnesia. Don't act like we programmed just to forget what we've been thinking about for several weeks and months now. Everybody want to go back to June and talk about how the negotiation was happening. But guess what? Now that shit is done. It's over. You up here want to talk about when the negotiation started and how long Crawford had the term sheet and all this shit. They wasn't going to fight this year. So let's not just brush over and talk about, well, Thurman is up next. Thurman is up next. But then we have the talk between Crawford and Spence, and people still up here talking about, oh, he ducked. He ducked. He kept the term sheet for 14 days. He had the dang term sheet since October 6th. He didn't do nothing with it. I'm saying to myself, geez, this is a bit abnormal, unnatural. Where's the term sheet? It don't matter when he would have returned the term sheet. He wouldn't have received the reply to finish this up and fight on November. All hocus pocus, people. We was led along in negotiation that was pretty much the master himself was in the shadows, just pulling all the strings. It's a lot of shit that goes on in the shadows, man, especially when people never see your face on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? People get concerned about identity. You know, you look on Google and you do search engine requests and put in inquiries for Al Heyman. It's not that many that's out there. But one thing I can say to not criticize Spence, because I've been on record saying, hey, Spence don't want to fight, Spence don't want to fight. But the audio told me he did want to fight. Just like Crawford said that Spence wanted to fight. He said he wanted a Crawford fight because it's a legacy fight. So I'm going to be a man of my word. He wanted to fight. Spence wanted to fight. I'm not going to have any other debate with these channels that's sitting up here talking about Crawford didn't want to fight, he ducked and all that other bullshit. Them trolls. They don't know shit about boxing, man. They don't want to know shit about boxing. But what I'm trying to tell you, Spence said he wanted to fight Crawford. It was a legacy fight. He did. He said that shit, bro. I gotta respect it. But now we narrow it down to the master magician himself, the Machiavelli. You know what I'm saying? That's the Machiavelli of boxing. That's the Machiavelli of boxing, bro. And just to think, the pro Spence fans would never acknowledge the fact that they've been fooled too. They're up here in bed I mean, all of them, like it's B2K all over again. All them niggas packed in the bed together. They up here rocking hard for freaking Spence. And Spence don't even have control. He don't even know what's fully going on behind his back. He doesn't even have control himself. They rocking hard. And then instead of them talking about Spence and you know, his boxing career, his reputation, what he has going on, they busy catering to what I appreciate. They continue to keep the fighter in their conversation, Terrence Bud Crawford, that sits higher than Errol Spence Jr. on the pound for pound list. I love it. Every time they do a thumbnail about Bud Crawford, they keeping that man relevant. It's free promo for Terrence Crawford every time these Spence channels talk about him. That's the way I think. You know, you always hear people talking about chess, not checkers, and all this other shit. I don't even think imagination should be considered to a chess, a checkers type board. Nothing physical. It's much more deadlier than that. You don't have to put shit on a physical freaking diagram or layout and see which moves you need to make. No, your imagination, your brain is much more powerful than that. Errol Spence don't even know the hocus pocus that was going around with him because he's not at that level. He's not at a Floyd level. He hasn't accomplished what Floyd has accomplished. So who's really the culprits behind this? Is it just Al Heyman or is it Floyd Mayweather too? Because Floyd said he speaks to Al Heyman every day. I know Errol Spence don't. Because if indeed he told Al he didn't want to face Thurman, and all of a sudden they mandating him to face Thurman, somebody leaked that audio on purpose. Somebody leaked the audio on purpose. You hear that, pro Spence channels? You did nothing to contribute to us finding out this information the right way. You're some of the most foolish individuals when it comes to this YTC reporting on this shit. Seriously. I'm talking about the ones that be creating false ass narratives as what Bud Crawford didn't do. Every time you turn around, they'll listen to channels like myself and they'll make a live stream based off what Bud Crawford isn't doing. But now if you look at the Spence situation, he's looking very, very bad because Bud Crawford is out here trying to make another bag before the year over. And I have questions about that. But yet, still, they're not asking what's next for Errol Spence. And then, all along, people just sitting up here, they twirling their thumb now. They want to still keep Bud Crawford's name in their mouth. Now, the audio comes out, they like, oh, shit. Okay. We have a little piece of information. Errol Spence wanted to fight Bud Crawford. Okay, he wanted to fight Bud Crawford. All right, cool. But then they get the information that the fight wasn't going to happen until next year. It's no more debating. It wasn't Crawford's fault the fight didn't happen. That's done. There's no debating, no more. There's no debating. The only reason, if you continue to put out biased ass narratives, that's just what you drive on. That's what you want. You want to continue to put shit out here and pollute the airwaves, and you don't respect media reporting. You don't respect journalism. Half of you niggas out here, especially them pro Spix channels that keep on talking about Bud every day, they're not journalists. They haven't wrote an article. Every article that's on my site, I wrote myself and edited myself. Some longer than others. I did the shit. I posted my content. It may not always be updated as far as the current fights, but the content is fairly new. I wrote the articles on whoever I feel like. And at one point in time, I did write for a mag. But that didn't interest me as much. Filling out quotas, writing articles behind the scenes all the time. That didn't interest me like that. But to be honest with you, we need to come to an understanding on the YTC shit that there's no deadline to the bullshit. None. And this is why I say I put the deadline. It's no deadline to the Y.T.B.C. The Y.T.B.C. don't exist, first of all. If you look at one of my questions, before I get to my questions, right? I want to talk about something as far as career killers. I want y'all to pay close attention to what I mean by career killers, right? And I had this conversation with several other people the other day that's with a promotional. We was talking about a situation that occurred, that's been occurring, and we already know where I'm going with this, right? We have all the BLK Prime shit that's going on. We have, they have this amount of money, they putting out this amount of money, the fighters who signed to them and all this other stuff. Okay, I get it. But we was having this conversation as to why don't the channels in the YTBC do more research, okay? This is where it becomes serious. This way you want people to respect you. This way you want to separate yourselves and say, you know, I'm a legitimate channel. I do much more than just being online, right? So we seen the information to come out with Get the Smoke and Nonito Donaire's wife and Champ Ross. You know, everybody collectively, from my understanding, went out to search for addresses and everything for this BLK Prime. All right. So the information was discovered. You know, the headquarters. Hold on for a second. The headquarters was a closed down, you know, space that used to be a school and all that. Okay, that's individuals that's going outside the realm of just online reporting and talking boxing. That's journalism. Journalism requires you to go out and do your research, not just sit at the keyboard and fade out your home keys. It requires you to go outside the boundaries and make this shit happen, right? So then the conversation that we was talking about, how is BLK Prime going to bleed over into the YTC community in a positive light? One channel is not going to be able to do it, especially if that one channel is trying to make it all about themselves. Listen to what I just told you. BLK Prime, if they smart, we don't know if they all about the PR. We don't know who's running the team. We didn't see any freaking fancy ass cameras up there. We didn't see none of that shit. We just seen, you know, Agent Broner come over there and say something, then walk out. You know what I'm saying? One channel on YouTube for BLK Prime is not going to do it. You can't be a man of many trades and a master of none. You cannot do that shit. You cannot believe YouTube is where you're going to be a man of many trades and a master of none. I'm being absolutely honest. What is BLK thinking right now? I think it's good for fans to see some fights, it seemed like. We have been seeing fights. I like Virgil Ortiz, but why would they petition to fight Stanthionis for a regular title with WBA when they were number one in the WBO? Before Porter got the Crawford fight, no petition then. True words. And that's another topic that we was talking about. Like, man, we was goddamn, oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was up to like 3 o'clock talking about some shit, this boxing shit, man. That's a very, very informative question, because once again it proves the hocus pocus of the business of boxing. When business is mentioned in the company of boxing, it doesn't mean it benefits the fighter. It may benefit the suits. You're asking a question on paper that seems, hey, A, B, C, D, that's the way it's supposed to be. Ortiz should have been. You know what I'm saying? If he was in line at the WBO, wouldn't it make sense? But look, we totally understand, Mitch, that Crawford don't have to fight Ortiz until late next year. That's out of the question. Paperwork-wise, administrative logistics, cool. The paperwork says what it says. But Ortiz is not in line to face Crawford like that. He don't have to face that dude. He can put in petition all he want, but he don't have to face him till next year. So put him out. He's done. And then becomes Stanthionis, the fighter who took step-aside money. He took step-aside money. So therefore, he's coming back up. And I thought his name would be in the running to face Crawford. To face Spence. But somehow, he's about to face Ortiz. But the original thought process we had, that he was going to be facing Spence. He was going to be facing Spence. But he's up here about to face Ortiz. The hocus pocus never stops with these people just dangling shit. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkling that goddamn dust on us. I'm telling you, this game is dark. It's dirty. It's deceptive, bro. You know what I'm saying? All them D words. It's all of that. And I don't even know if individuals on here are woke enough outside the clouded funk that they're in trying to talk about Terrence Crawford every day. You're doing the channels that really support Bud a favor. You're keeping Bud in your conversation all the time when we have other shit going on in boxing. You're not asking yourself why Stanthionis is not fighting Errol Spence. He's fighting Ortiz. Why Jaron Ennis has to all of a sudden now submit the IBF to be the mandatory. Or did they? Because he's about to fight a totally different fighter. None of the names that was supposed to be dance partners previously are scheduled to be in the ring together. It's all quite the opposite. It's all quite the opposite, man. Goddamn. Even with Crawford Spence, man, this shit was never going to happen this year. We cannot sit up here and be so incompetent to ignore what Timothy Smith said. Timothy Smith put the word out there. He said it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Timothy Smith said the shit. But they just brushed it off because Timothy Smith is not a boxer. People rarely see Timothy. I've dealt with him in person. I dealt with him in Wilder's fight camp. I dealt with him when he came down here in Atlanta for the Gervonta Davis fight. I've seen him in Baltimore. I mean, I've seen him on several occasions. But they didn't care what he was talking about because they felt like Timothy Smith wasn't a promoter. They always heard the PBC fighters talk about Al Haymon. Their time is more invested in focusing on Al Haymon, a person that they never seen before in life. You know what I'm saying? They never seen this man before in life. And they wanna wait for somebody to say, well, Al Haymon said. We never seen Al Haymon. And then the wild part about it, I salute freaking Bob Arum, right? Peep this out, people. I salute Bob Arum because I think about how the channels on YouTube was saying how Bob Arum was treating Crawford, and he was a plantation owner, and he was a slave driver, and you know what I'm saying, he was treating him so bad and all this shit. And then when Bob came out there and criticized Crawford in front of the eye of the media lens and said he lost so much money he can buy a house in Beverly Hills, I heard it. I get it. And then I had to do my research as to what he truly meant as far as the pay-per-view and what Crawford was getting guaranteed money, which was higher than the usual for a fighter that's not really a pay-per-view star like that. And then we have to include the fact on what he said about Al Haymon. Bob Arum mentioned that Al Haymon was a cancer. He said that man was a cancer. Y'all know he said Al Haymon was a cancer. He meant it. Maybe we seeing exactly what Bob Arum was speaking on. Not only that, they criticize. I don't know Fred like that. I don't know Fred Harkdon like that. But when he began to, like so many people say, become rogue and start talking about Al Haymon after their situation, it's not for me to go in detail about. But a lot of shit that he was saying has now come to the surface, whether people like it or not. You know what I'm saying? You can support a black man in daylight or when it's pitch black. That's up to you. They say Masons can shake one another's hand in the pit of darkness and know another brother without even seeing his face. They can know if he's a part of the fraternity. I can attest to that. I know for a fact. I can recognize who's a brother in a pitch black room just off the handshake alone. It's true. It's real talk. Bob Arum said that Al Heyman was a cancer? Why? Why did he say that? Is it now that we hearing all these rumors that the PBC is having issues financially and all that? And if you paid attention to the year 2022, a lot of fights was on pay-per-view that really shouldn't be pay-per-view, but they're on pay-per-view. People say pay-per-view dead, but goddamn, PBC coming here, Showtime putting on pay-per-view fights. So how's it gonna die out? Don't continue to do pay-per-view and then complain about the illegal piracy. It's not gonna happen, bro. But Bob Arum say the man was a cancer. We don't have to really look that up, do we? To all the definitions out there about cancer, we don't have to do that. So Virgil team are interested in fighting Spence, Crawford, or Ennis right now. So Virgil team is interested in fighting Stantionis for what I'm hearing. He's gonna fight Stantionis. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? In hindsight, we're gonna get to those questions over there, but I have one more point I want to make about my thumbnail on the YTBC. Right? Hindsight can tell us they weren't fighting this year, but it's obvious both fighters thought a fight was possible this year. I agree. And look, I'm honest enough. I'm honest enough because I've been on record as saying Spence don't want to fight, right? And even though a part of me feels like, he has some hesitation, I'm not going to go against the grain on Spence and what he said in the audio that he didn't know that he was being recorded. He didn't know that action was taking place. So out of natural conversation and dialogue, he said, I want to fight Terrence Crawford. It's a legacy fight. That's what he said. I have to take Spence on his word. Crawford's been saying he wanted to fight Spence. That never been a question. Crawford said he wanted to face Spence. Now all of a sudden we hear Spence on the audio that he want to face Crawford. We already know Spence said, hey, I'm coming for that fucking belt. Okay, we heard that. But the actions and the energy that we was getting didn't add up. The shit didn't add up, bro. It seemed like I said before, he said the 70-30, 80-20 shit. I said, okay, if he wouldn't have came out his mouth with that, then I wouldn't have damn held him to the fire. But since he came out with this, I was saying before, I'm like, damn, is he a part of the negotiation bullshit that's going on? But I'm thinking maybe he didn't even know some shit that was going on behind the scene with the negotiations. Definitely I know Crawford didn't. Crawford didn't have a promoter. Errol Spence did. They say keep your enemies closer. He had a promoter. This Y.T.B.C. phantom bullshit that goes on, it has no integrity to it whatsoever. When are they going to stop destroying fighters' careers? What I mean by that, the media side of a fighter's career. It's nothing on the Y.T.B.C. that makes any sense. The shit don't exist. I've said this several times over. The YouTube boxing community is just a myth. It's a myth. And this whole BLK shit just proved my point once again. You want to hear why? You want to know what I'm talking about? You want to know what career killers are? I can give you a broad look. I can give you a most blatant example to tell you why the Y.T.B.C. isn't an entity. It's just like saying that boxing has one commission. Boxing has a governing body. No, the Y.T.B.C. doesn't exist. It's just to each his own out here in this Serengeti. All for one, one for all. That's what it is. I can give you a broad example, recent, to help you understand where I'm going from with this shit. Let me share a screen right here. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you some shit. All right. Let me show you something. Well, the Y.T.B.C., the shit that they try to come up with, that they try to give it shape. You know what I'm saying? They tried to give the YTC shape. They're trying to give it shape. Like I said before, it's not saying it's in the shape of a human. They trying to give it structure. They can't get any structure because the people that's trying to build it up, they're tearing it down in the same. Let me show you something right quick. There's no deadline to this bullshit on here, bro. So let me take this thumbnail down. Y'all already know this is Terrence Crawford's box wreck. All right, this is box wreck. This is Terrence Crawford box wreck. Shout out to Captain Chaos in the building, bro. So peep this out. Let me stroll down and bring you back to this right here. All right. You listening? You tuned in? You know what I'm saying? Get a glass of cold beverage. This is gonna sting, y'all. This is gonna sting. Hopefully, it's something that you can archive and you can better educate yourself moving forward. This is gonna sting. Just days ago, we're talking about all the hoopla, hayla, and you saw me do a live stream on Champside on how he was up here whining like a big ass baby. How people up here criticizing Blue Blood Sports for all this shit that he's trying to make it all about him and not the freaking fighter that he's trying to attach himself and making $1 million deal. That is the no deadline shit. That is career killers. If you look on Terrence Crawford and David Avanesian, their fight is no longer scheduled. It was several days ago. It's no longer scheduled. Has somebody spoken the blue? That's why I'm telling you all. You cannot have any channel out here unless you know for a fact that they are built and they are experienced and they are experienced enough to the point where they're willing to get educated themselves on how to better place organizations just coming on the scene, how to introduce it to the YTC properly. You know what I'm saying? How can we bleed over into the YTC community properly? Because there's no structure over here. The Y.T.B.C doesn't exist. You just have multiple channels over here talking. But check this out. Their fight is not on schedule anymore. Now, I'm not making any broad prognosticated, assumptions that it's not going to happen. I'm just telling you what BoxRec does not display anymore at this present time. It is not displaying something that was out there. Now, it's funny how I was speaking on how they had David Avanesian scheduled for John Miguez, and then he was scheduled for Terrence Crawford. I say, how's that going to work? He going to fight in November and then turn around and fight. He's going to have a short period. Boom. Before I know, BoxRec took the damn John Miguez fight off, and then they put David Avanesian on Crawford's BoxRec. This has nothing to do with Crawford. I'm telling you about BoxRec. So both of the fights are scheduled, and people's like, oh, it's scheduled. It's scheduled. Now, who's going to be on the undercard? Who's going to be on the undercard? Now, this is where it's going to sting. If a fight was scheduled, we have BLK Prime coming on deck, and people are so anxious to know how they're going to make this work. We hear all these eight figures floating around and shit, just like dust. Now the fights ain't up here. Why? Why don't BoxRec has this fight scheduled again? Why? Furthermore, how do we build up BLK enough for the YTC community that has a lot of boxing channels now? They have a lot of boxing channels. How is it that BLK did not source? If they knew they was trying to take this route and Blue was the one, why wasn't there multiple channels to make this work efficiently? Because the more channels, like for Bill Haney, for example, for Bill Haney, you may not agree with him, but everybody and their mama know who he is, not just from his son's boxing, but a lot of people, a lot of channels on here has had the privilege of having him present to speak on certain conversations. He's been around. People know, boom. He's been in the YouTube streets. He's been in the jungle, man. Nobody can say Bill ain't been here through the ins and outs, the light and dark, day and night. He's been here doing this shit. People know. But my question to BLK, what is going on with this schedule? We hearing all the big numbers. What's going on with this schedule? Why was it taken down from BoxRec? They're showing a lot of areas of novice type behavior. You're not in a position when you're throwing around 8 figures. You're not in a position to do some shit like this. When that fight hits the BoxRec, it needs to stay, so people can know that, hey, this fight is taking place. Furthermore, step 2, no matter who gets upset, it doesn't matter. If you're gonna try to say you're the pilot in the YouTube community, people going around here throwing your name all around, understand that every discrepancy, every bump in the road, every Tyro type move like this, individuals like myself is going to look at it and say, why aren't you doing, how close are you attached? Why aren't you doing more so this won't happen in the near future? If people up here talking about, like Champ Side was up here crying like a big ass baby that the man, you know what I mean, gave it time for him to freaking get it off the ground yet. No. Peep this out. When you throwing around 8 figures, this ain't ground zero, homie. This ain't ground zero. When you throwing around $500, yeah, we on the same, feet on the ground. But when you talk about millions, we're flying. We're flying. We're airborne. That's a panoptic view. We still got the ground troops down there, but you're throwing around millions. So the ground troops are there to make sure you look the way you're supposed to, because you're just not a basic name that's out here trying to make something happen. That's the way BLK Prime is trying to come off, like they're not the basic name. They got money behind them and all this other stuff. Okay. We have people on YTC that's going to do research. Boom. We see what happened with Smoke going out there, doing a video and letting people know what it is. Was he hating? Are they going to say he was hating or doing journalism? It didn't seem like he was hating to me. Then me. I'm just looking at this whole deal. We have one person on YouTube that obviously is trying to make it about the bag and make it about money he's attached. That's not where we at right now, shawty. We need to find out why this fight is not on BoxRec no more. Why haven't we heard interviews from at least Avanesian? Fight Hype had Avanesian's team, a member of his team on there for an interview. If you're supposed to be so-called the biggest, media outlet around, why aren't we getting the interviews to basically substantiate your move? If your move has now progressed to a higher level and you're attaching yourself to people that supposedly have all this money, where's the content? You ain't doing content no more? You went from freaking a talent agent to silent partner. But really, just like Champside was saying, Champside said Blue Blood is bigger than BLK. Now, I don't know what quantification he's looking at. I don't know he has on freaking bifocal lenses. I don't know. I have no idea. But what do you mean by that? Because if that was indeed true, then we need to look at this and examine it a whole different way. Because we need content now. If we have fighters that we know that's being signed to BLK, and he is the one that's up here representing the YTC community, I ask you once again to step your game up. You need to step your game up and stop making about money. We don't give a fuck about the money. Make your money. But goddamn it, we are collectively in the YTC. That's what I'm saying. This Y.T.B.C. shit, it don't matter. It don't exist. Because there's no goddamn union. There's no cohesiveness. We should have all these channels trying to goddamn talk to the fighters that's signing. When we hear the news that Kid Austin, come on over here, talk to us. Nope. The channels just want to get their own views and then let them go off. That's no YTBC in that, the YouTube boxing community. Where's the community at? We ain't a community because they're not willing to spread the wealth. They're not willing to spread it out through channel to channel because every mind doesn't think alike. So the questions are definitely going to be different. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, WCS, you didn't say this about any other fight that's going on. You're right, because a lot of other fights don't go through YouTube and pretend like somebody has a higher position than they actually do. So since you're saying you're in that position and you're silent this and silent that, and you have such a larger participation, well, show us what you're known for. You're known for a content creator. So since you are a content creator / silent partner talent agent, we want you to grab hold of some names that's supposed to be signed to BOK Prime and bring it back over here to the YTC and conduct some interviews. Where are the interviews? Listen to me, Blue. A person like myself, man, all I'm doing is thinking logically about this. You talk about traveling here, pulling up on Kevin Cunningham and pulling up on Adrian Broner, doing all that travel work. But what about your community? The people that depend on you, you know what I'm saying? Whoever they are, your listeners, subscribers, you know what I'm saying? It must be a freaking loyal community, because Champside was crying and whining about it. How we treating and what we saying and all that. Why haven't he did an interview with one of them? Why didn't you take him with you? A baby needs supervision. Real talk. They need to be goddamn pampered. The way that dude was freaking crying on damn live. When are you gonna bring the content back over here? Because it just seems like you doing these live videos. We already know you for that. But if I'm associating myself with BLK Prime, I want to pull some fighters back into the YouTube community that's going to be a part of this card in Omaha. You should get first dibs. If it was me, I would get first dibs. Nobody else. I'm putting up all the interviews, and then I'm asking the fighters, would you like to interview with this channel to further build up the card. It's free promo via YTC, free promo. Continue to build it up. Because per what Champside said, it's going to be hookups. It's going to be hiccups. They're just starting. Okay, if they're just starting, we're talking about dudes like myself that's been a part of the planning process, right? If they're just starting, let's utilize our resource that's cost effective. How much it's going to cost BOK Prime to utilize their primary face in YTC to pretty much promote their fight card and promote their fighters. It's free. They either want to or they don't. So therefore, you spread the word. Hey, do y'all want to interview so-and-so? Okay, we can set this up. Boom, you set the schedule. And you put these fighters on. Now, I'm not saying Terrence Crawford is going to come through here. He's going to say, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to happen, bro. The bridge is burned. You can't rebuild that motherfucker with toothpicks and expect motherfuckers to run across that bitch it's going to hold. No, it's not going to happen. David Avanesian, now, the history isn't there. So since he don't have the history with the YTC, possibly somebody from his team, just like Fight Hype, that's not even associated with BLK Prime, who's been on record as saying BLK Prime reached out to them like in 2021 or something like that to try to do a collaboration. They've been working. But see, Fight Hype isn't a one-man show. They have a team. Fight Hype is much more established and professional, and the fighters that they link up with and the fight camps that they in. I have to give them their credit. They said that BLK Prime attempted to reach out to them earlier for a collaboration. Which brings us to this. If they reached out to Fight Hype, that means you wasn't the first one. So creating a story and a narrative as if you're doing something huge, Fight Hype probably turned it down because they wasn't paying him too much of anything. And Fight Hype is bigger than Blue. Champ Side didn't mention that. They're bigger than him. And they turned the shit down. It didn't happen with them. If they was planning this boxing shit to bleed over into the YTC, why they didn't come over here with Fight Hype? Because from my understanding, Fight Hype have like 1.2 something subscribers, don't they? 2 million. They're over the million mark. It's not even close. You feel me? Not even close. Next point, career killers. I mentioned this last time. Once again, certain people, they can grow up in life, man, and they'll never be a part of a situation that they have to plan and be a leader in. That's just the way of life. All of us have different jobs. So some people now have been privy to be a part of certain situations that require them to properly plan with others, with a team and stuff like that, and to carry out and complete a task. Whether that task is moderate, you know what I'm saying, or has complexity to it. But this is where I talk about the career killers at. You see this shit, that the fight is removed from the damn box rec. But yet you don't hear people talking about it. You don't hear people talking about what's right there in front of their face because they can't get it. But yet they're going to come in here and yell and kick and scream about how many people are talking about what Blue Blood said and all this other stuff. Yeah, we're going to talk about it because you brought it to the YTC. Not only did you bring it to the YTC, you made it seem like that it was bigger than what it was. So we see discrepancies play out with BoxRec removing the fight and hearing Champ Side go in here and yell, kick, and scream. I got questions. So just like I said before, I wanted to explain to y'all how the dynamic of the career killers. We got Terrence Crawford who supposedly pulled up, right? We already know the story and checked his temperature, right? So you have Terrence Crawford, who's top pound for pound fighter, that's included in this whole thing between him and Errol Spence. But not only that, the individuals that's criticizing Terrence Bud Crawford are now attempting to criticize him in a different way. They're trying to talk about him in a different way. Let's talk about the absolute bullshit hocus pocus when it comes to the YTBC. You will have channels attached to another channel. Just like I said, Champ Side will come on here and attach himself to Blue Blood. All these channels that's supposed to be attaching themselves to one single channel that's supposed to be handling this shit with BLK, right? You would get channels that's attached to this channel and ranting and raving and praising all the shit he's doing and the big moves he's making. And I'm looking back, I'm saying it's a lot more that he has to put together to make this shit work efficiently, especially out here in this Serengeti, especially when it has individuals that's up here have their channels and they're reporting, right? So you're supposed to be supporting and raising this channel up. If he's doing something wrong, hit him behind the scenes and make it look all good professionally for him and BLK. This is real talk and no bias, right? Make it look good for Blue and BLK. But no, you got Champ Side that'll come over here and do a video dogging out Team Crawford. Now let's put this all together. Let's unpack this. If you are supposed to be supporting Blue Blood Sports, who is making grand moves with the new company, right? And you haven't seen anything really make it to December 10th, because obviously we live in a simulated life where we work off numbers each and every day. Every time we wake up, we wake up off time. With that time becomes what? Hours. With hours become what? Days. Days encompasses 24 hours. It's a certain amount of days that encompasses each fucking month. So we can't say the fight is already here. The fight's supposed to be December 10th, right? So if you have a channel that consider themselves to be important based off the subscribers that they have, and you're going ham on a team that's attached to one of your favorite channels and your friends, has you ever thought to yourself how bad that makes BLK looks? They're looking for us, the YTC, to raise them up, to give them a brighter light in this situation. But yet you have a channel that's not in the best interest of Blue. They may support him on the YTC, but they're not really raising him up professionally because they're going in on the biggest name that has signed to BLK Prime. They're going in on him. You're going in not on Crawford, not just in Crawford, but you're going in on Bernie, a member of the team. How does that make BLK Prime look if Blue's supposed to be the advocate, spokesperson, the front runner on the YTC community? That's what I'm trying to explain to a lot of you brothers out here. You run a channel, but that ain't shit. You have to run something that involves with progress or advancement in a whole different area. This YTC shit is recreational. That's all it is. Remember that. Remember what I told you that. It's recreational. So when you got a channel that's supposed to be supporting their brother, but yet your brother is making his clout of having some type of dealings and brokering and making this deal work between Crawford and David Avanesian. And in the process of knowing that he's on the pound for pound list, right? He's been in negotiation over the last several months with Errol Spence. There's a lot going on with Terrence Bud Crawford. His name is burning on these streets. His name is shining bright out this motherfucker. And you are gonna go up here and act like you building up Blue Blood, who's attached to BLK, who has some type of facilitation, supposedly, with making Terrence Crawford and David Avanesian, and you're up here dogging out the team. That just goes and proves that the Y.T.B.C. doesn't exist. Because any community would know goddamn well that you're fucking up the bag. What do what do the WCS mean about fucking up the bag? It's free promo for channels to be able to get a part of this. The only way that shit's gonna work with BLK on the YTC is that more channels have access to potentially interview some of the fighters and get the promo out there. Not only the fighters, but who's promoting this shit? Who's promoting this, man? Where are some of the members that we can talk to try to get the word out there on what their goal is? What is their end game? Where are they trying to go in the sport of boxing? I just don't see it here in the YTC. I don't hear any of those questions being answered. I don't see anybody up here on the interview. I don't hear shit except people talking about fucking money like we in the projects. Real talk. This YTC shit looks like the straight up projects of media when you got dudes talking about money. You up here scrounging around for motherfucking viewership and subs. But yet, we have an entity that's attached to YTC that's making millions supposedly, right? They're putting up millions upon millions. But we have a channel that's supposed to be on here long enough for people to know, that's vouching that Blue is bigger than BLK, all right? He's bigger than BLK Prime, but he couldn't start BLK Prime. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, champ side. You obviously been brainwashed into believing there's a Y.T.B.C. and believing that these freaking subscribers that y'all have is real life. It ain't real. The organic subscribers are going to be the ones that hit you up with the super chats and going to be in your chat all the time, and they're going to be communicating with you. Those are your organic subscribers. And I promise you, in any amount of money, if you take the amount of people that hit you up on super chats, or they be in your chat communicating with your topic, those are your organic subscribers, which is going to differ from the total amount that you display on the front side of your YouTube description. If you had 20,000 subscribers, just 20,000 subscribers, and every time you went live, they donated $1, you good. But you and I both know that's not the case. So when you up here yelling and screaming and going in on Bernie, which is attached to Team Crawford, how's the YTC supposed to grow for this fight card? Because you know damn well, let me break you off with another piece of information that champ side. They're going to have to be YTC in attendance in Omaha. If they're going to have a press week, in order to make this as big as possible, it's going to have to be some other YouTube channels in attendance, right? Because when I see PBC, yeah, that's it. You see media there, right? Top Rank, yep. We see it. So if we have YouTube channels that's going to be out there in Omaha to make this even a bigger fight card, why aren't we trying the damn network? Why are we sitting up here dogging out a name of a fighter and his team? And you are attaching yourself. That's why they say, hey man, you can't bring everybody with you. When you levitate to another level, you can't bring everybody with you because they're not built to be with you and they're not there to assist with your growth. When motherfuckers do reckless shit like this, it makes it look worse, man. When you have a channel going in on a team that has a fighter that's top pound for pound in the world, and they're dogging out the people, they're dogging out the team, but yet they're attaching themselves to as an advocate, the Blue Bloods channel. That's unprofessional, unacceptable. It doesn't make sense at all. I'm talking about any real business that's established will not tolerate this shit. They will tell Blue, they say, hey, check this out. If you're going to be working with us, you need to speak with your people. They can't be messing up the bag. If Blue people's going to be talking about him getting the bag, then guess what? He needs to understand how the bag can be interrupted and sabotaged by those individuals that really not a part of the team to begin with. They didn't help facilitate anything dealing with BLK. So when they do reckless ass shit like this on the YTC, it just goes to show you these motherfuckers don't think outside the box and on a professional level. They don't think that way. They just think, oh man, I'm just logging in. It's time for me to do my recreational shit on YouTube. And that's it. I can talk reckless about, anything I want to. I don't give a fuck about no professional standards, no custom and courteous, no policies. No, I just want to go up here and talk reckless every time I get on this bitch. Especially when we're trying to see how something's gonna play out. We just had one of the biggest fights evaporate. Now, one half of those fighters is set to face David Avanesian with a streaming service that's trying to bleed over into the boxing scene. There's a lot of questions that we need answers to, but we can't get them. I'm gonna be honest with you, we can't get them. Look, if I can have a decent conversation with Blue, I would, but I'm not gonna sit here on the phone and argue with you, bro. I'm not gonna do it. But when you tell stories on how this shit's supposed to, what you doing and all, it's always, I rolled up, I went down there Saturday. Nobody wants to hear about your itinerary on your deployment. That's what you're supposed to do. You're a content creator. When I roll out somewhere, I don't let YouTube know it just so they can praise me for it. No, they see me on deck and that's what it is. Look it up. Facts. You gotta make it play out like you're King Harry and shit rolling in that bitch. No, you're a content creator. You chose to be a part of the YTC. So since you're a part of the YTC, move as that. Don't make it seem like it's all about you. They didn't even know. I called Adrian Broner. I called Kevin. So what? What about BLK Prime, man? We don't know shit about the fighters that's up there. You can't get Adrian Broner to come down and sit for an interview on your channel, which will blow the fuck up. It'll be a minimum of 1,500 people, 2,000 people in there if Adrian Broner came and gave you 15 minutes. try making that happen. Try to get AB on here of all people, because we know he gonna talk his shit. Come on, man. Your boy Champ Side. Your Champ Side was over there bigging you up, Blue. Man, come on, man. You gotta make it happen. Get Adrian Broner on deck, man. It will be crucial for the YTC. Real talk. You gotta do it in the honor, so he won't get on here and blowing snot bubbles anymore. Real talk. Get AB on your channel, bro. You say, oh, AB know me. I hear people, oh, AB know him, AB know him. You know, AB know this, AB know that, Blue know this, bro. Shit ain't coming back to the YTC. People want to sit up here and talk about this is the community. It ain't, bro. It's just a platform where everybody do what the fuck they want to do. Bring the content back over here. You can have the dude on your channel. Bring it so we can see it. Because the interview didn't tell us shit. If you're trying to so-called get the bag, well, bring the content over here to continue to build your bag. Because all these people taking credit for what you're doing, and they trying to act like they're a part of it. Hey, I support them too. I help facilitate this too between Crawford Avenue. You too? Yeah, me too. You too? Uh-huh. Him, her, him, her, him. Yep, that group back there. Before you know it, you got a million motherfuckers talking about they help facilitate damn Crawford and Avenesian, bro. That's called sloppy ghetto ass shit. You take control of it. You organize that shit. Don't make it about yourself. Stop making it about money, because they always talk about how black people, they want to separate themselves economically. They want to separate themselves economically. And it always comes to the dollar bill, shawty. No, we're not talking about dollars. You want to get your money. Get it. I don't care. But how do we grow the YTC though? How do we get more channels to promote the BLK Prime if you're the so-called popular channel on here, one of them? Let's spread it. Get these other channels that's attached to you. I don't want none of it. I don't want none of it. Real talk. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I don't want none of it. But I would like to see it. I would like to listen to it. I would like to hear an interview conducted by a team member. Let's have Kevin Cunningham on here again. That's something, bro. Something, man. Let's have something, bro. I can't explain it no more than what I'm doing, bro. Seriously. Let's get to the chat. Damn. See, it's hard being a fan of a fight. I honestly feel like it takes too much work. How can you have bills, kids, work, and then get on here and have energy for Bud, Spence, and arguments and shit? God damn. Damn. That's some real question, wisdom, real talk. That's some blatant type question right there, because it cuts deep to the people who is affected by it. If they're really reading that shit, it's gonna cut deep. It's sharp. The reason why it's sharp is I say the exact same thing, like in my questions that I haven't gotten to on my description. One of the questions deal with that. How many families on this YTC has been broken up from the actions that they see their parents going through? If you're not, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Unless you living in a fucking mansion, Holyfield, Rick Ross, Tyson, whoever was living in that damn mansion that had 100 rooms and shit. Unless you in that motherfucker, your family gonna hear you. Your family will hear you. And a lot of you cats be on here yelling, screaming, and all that, but you think you're gonna get off and tell your kid, hey Bubbles, come over here. Now what you just heard Daddy saying, you know I don't want you talking like that, okay? But Daddy, you was just saying bitch ass nigga all the time, and nigga, what is that word, bitch ass? What is a nigger? I need to know what a nigga is. You said so much. Oh, I apologize. I really wasn't saying nigga. I was saying bigger. Yeah, like B.I.G. the rapper. Oh, he was a rapper? But I heard, like, in school, it seems like you were starting it with the end. Like, I heard my teacher say, I don't want to hear anybody saying this word right here. It just seems like you were saying that word. They saying it was kind of racist. No, that's not the same word. See, the word you heard me say was nigga. I mean bigger. A bigger. That's what you heard me say, bigger. No, Daddy, I heard you say, stop fibbing me. Just like I'm telling you, these kids are smart, man. These kids are motherfucking smart. How many families? Come on, man. Just like Blunt just asked. You go to work, you raising a family, you taking care of yourself, and you get on here and act a fool, man. I don't mind you coming on here, but I'm going to dissect some of this shit a little bit different than everybody else, especially when it comes to the BLK and people up here trying to take credit for a larger position than what they actually have. Earn it. Earn it. Clout chasing, bro. If y'all the same niggas that talk about clout chasing, what is this we got? There's no need for you to clout chase unless you're going to get the clout. We ain't saying shit. You know, you getting the clout is when this fight is made and it goes off, everybody was able to purchase. Because I hear people purchasing this shit already. I commend them for that. They purchasing the damn $39.99. They're ready. They're ready. But imagine if you facilitated that the right way, since you want to talk about the baker's dozen. Imagine you put this shit in the oven the right way, Blue. You put this dang situation in the oven the right way. You put down the bullet points, you plan it, and you gather the YouTube community together to speak about this, because they're bigging you up by yourself. 2 has more value than 1. 4 has more value than 3. 10 has more value than 8. 1,000 has more value than 995. You are one entity. You could facilitate the groups that fuck with you, the channels that fuck with you, and encourage their listeners to purchase the fight. Now I'm gonna tell you the difficulty you're gonna have with that, Blue. And I'm talking about this whole situation where it's considered career killers of what I've seen recently. I'm gonna tell you how you facilitate that. If you get your listeners and get your channels together that fuck with you and tell them to get their listeners and everybody agree, just like y'all have them private chats to be talking shit about people, goddamn, get them to support Terrence Bud Crawford and David Avanesian. Now you totally have to understand that only several weeks ago you was a pro Spence fan. It's too many videos out there. I sit up here and showed you Big Blunts and Boxing video. I showed you several other videos. You was a Terrence Crawford supporter and turn your back on him. So those same individuals I'm asking you to get together and speak on this and encourage their listeners to buy the pay-per-view is how you raise that BLK brand up. How you really become a boss and people can brag on you and say, yeah, he got these groups together on the panel. We're not talking about listeners. We're talking about content creators. We're talking about individuals on channels. You have them on your panel, and that go down in history on YTC that you facilitated these individuals. Now, if you do it right now, if you do it tomorrow, if you do it, you better give me credit. I'm trying to help you out. You have nothing but the channels. I don't see it. All I see is y'all going over to each channel talking about the shit I'm talking about. Talking about who don't agree with you, who talking shit. People gonna talk shit about you because you switched up. Point blank, period. But me, I'm trying to be the voice of reason, homie. I'm trying to help you out. Your listeners are not really feeling the support you're giving Terrence Bud Crawford. And it's a huge reason as to why. But now, if you're in a professional position, what you can do is, just like I said, invite these channels onto your panel. encourage them to basically reach out to their listeners and to then buy this pay-per-view. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you go down in history as facilitating something on the level of 10 million. If you really want to be a part of something, that's what you do. You just start making the moves. You look like you know how to organize this shit. If you can make 15 videos a day, you know what I'm saying? If you can fire up the oven and you can do 15 videos a day, well, out of those 15, you can at least schedule for some of your favorite channels that's higher than the baker's dozen to come on your panel in front of everybody. Say, I just called everybody together. You know what I'm saying? You know what I have going on with BOK Prime, and it's what I'm trying to do. My intention is to get this as big as possible, to spread this throughout the YTC and have it promoted. Why I brought y'all on here, I'm just asking that y'all help me out. If they really fucking with you, they fucking with you. I can name some names. You know, get the channels like Black Fight Fan on there. Yeah. 78 Sports. Fanon. BFTB. You know what I'm saying? Boxing Ego. You know what I'm saying? Willie the Munchkin. You know, get these. No, I gotta exclude him. He don't. No. Exclude him. Champside. Get all these channels that really support you heavy, supposedly. That's all I'm saying. And tell them, ask them politely to do a live dedicated to BOK Prime and them purchasing this pay-per-view in support of the company. Now, like I said before, Blue, it's going to be some issues because Terrence Crawford, for a lot of channels that you're talking about, they don't fuck with him. So this is where you separate yourself from the projects and you move up to what the Jeffers was talking about. You can only put it out there and say, I did the shit. I got everybody together and I encouraged, this is what I said. Okay, enlighten your listeners to help me promote this fight. But nigga, you think we gonna help you promote Terrence Crawford? We was the same one standing by you when you was goddamn talking shit about him. And now you want us to promote BOK Prime, who has Terrence Crawford in Omaha? That's what's gonna fuck it up, Blue. I'm being real, homie. I'm being real with you, bro. You gotta fight through the bullshit and let these people know, hey, this is permanent for me. I plan on doing this planning process with BOK Prime for a long time. So I want y'all to help me out. If y'all really ride with me, ride with me. But guess what? Guess what, brother? Guess what, good brother? If you think it's all about you and it's all about you getting the bag, continue to operate as you see fit. Continue to do this shit individually. Because it's going to burn the fuck down. Go ahead. You put in hours and hours and hours in so-called YTBC community, but yet one person is considered a community. So since you have the resources and the channels that support you heavy, get them involved. That's how you do that shit. Then BOK will see all the work you putting in and you'll really start getting the bag. I'm being honest. You're working without a team. First of all, you're trying to do all this shit on your own and you're limited. So you have to disperse. You have to distribute the workload. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? You know how they always say word of mouth, brother? That shit works. And the YTC is word of mouth. Especially when they dedicate a lot of the BOK Prime to basically promote the fight. But see, these niggas not gonna do that. They so mad and angry and agitated that they're not getting Crawford Spence. But yet they see Crawford about to get 10 mil or 8 figures or whatever. They're not willing to support him because they're not true content creators. They're haters. I just gave that out there. I'm not gonna talk all night on it. I just gave you some hints. I just put it out there professionally. That's what it is, brother. This shit is crazy. I see these guys yelling, duck this, duck that. He wanted to fight, 0 money, 15 million. It's like, damn, none of this shit works. And look, you're right, but that's what they want him to do right here. They just want him to goddamn turn around in the chair and wait on a goddamn contract to come on. No, we don't want that shit. We don't want that. These are not little kids we dealing with. After hearing Espinosa's interview, I knew the fight wasn't happening this year. He stated, we Showtime, we need time for a proper promo. Yep. Word blunts, we don't know shit besides a bunch of minor facts. All this shit is up to interpretation. True words, up to interpretation, man. And what are we interpreting? Are we trying to interpret what's truth or what's a lie? That interpretation becomes very, very rigorous, don't it? I don't agree that Spencer's out here looking bad just because Crawford decided to take a fight, though. Spencer's looking bad when he don't have a fight lined up. You know what I'm saying? He can't just be waiting on Crawford. Then Spence will find himself being out of the ring for a year, Mitch. So therefore, you're going to have them same pro-Spence channels up here saying, oh, Crawford coming up a fight with Avanesium. Now he want to fight Spence. Spence need a tune-up. I'm telling you, he ain't going to never fucking win. You see, it's April. Spence been out the ring for a year. He need another tune-up. And then I'll be like this, Mitch. I'll be like, oh yeah, he need a tune-up. But you was just bragging about him having a car accident and the amount of time it took for him to heal, get back in training, and come back and fight Danny Garcia. So now all of a sudden you worried about him taking a fight with Terrence Crawford. And he's been out the ring for a year. I got it. Seriously, I got it. Pop on deck, salute. Wild Wild West on YouTube, since it's not coming here. It ain't. But they want you to speak on it, you know, all reckless and use slang all the time, like you can't go over here and speak on it in a very polite manner, so to speak. It might have some damn volume to it. The tone may not be, you know, moderate, but people need to hear this shit. And then, you know, a lot of these cats refuse to listen to somebody they don't so-called respect. You know what I'm saying? Somebody next to them might respect what's coming out of my mouth, but since that person don't respect who I'm talking to, they don't respect me, they ain't gonna respect what I'm saying. It's probably gonna take somebody next to him to say, you know what? He making sense. It's about us. Okay, if you're part of the organization LDBC, get all the LDBC to promote the shit. But see, all the LDBC is not supporting Terrence Crawford like that. So you're finding yourself in a quagmire. Real talk, brother. You got to figure this shit out, because if you part of an organization that's trying to grow in the sport of boxing, and you're in a position where you're trying to levitate above, get your people together. If they truly your boys, they're gonna support you, and they're gonna feel funny doing it, being that Terrence Crawford is a fighter that y'all dogged out on many upon occasions, dog. What's going on, Captain Chaos on deck? Salute. One of the first jewels I picked up from dirty ass YouTube was that being ranked number 1 and being mandatory are different. Shouts to Bill and David and Loma. Rest in peace, Batman. Fuck Suleiman. Trap media on deck. That's true, man. That's true. That's true. Being ranked number 1 doesn't mean you're the mandatory. That shit is crazy, ain't it? And then not only that, you can lose a fight. You could be ranked number 1, lose a fight, and just go to number 2. You know what I'm saying? Depends on who you connected with. That ranking system is shabby. Bob is best promoter in boxing. Yeah, shout out to Top Rank. Damn, I never thought of that. None of the fighters we thought were gonna fight each other aren't fighting each other now. That's crazy. I guess I'm so used to it now, I never noticed it. And see, that's what I'm saying. You can't get yourself complacent in this jungle, man. You can't get yourself complacent. And I was just reading an article about this grandmother who was walking to work. And of course, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about outside of the city, of course. in a whole nother country. But she was walking away through the woods or whatever, through the path, and she had some certain tools with her. She was dressed and she had a knife with her and so forth. And obviously the story started to go on where she was damn near in the wildlife. It's wildlife out there. You could be attacked. So she had that knife with her. But she didn't come back home. So they searched and found this damn 20 plus foot python had consumed her whole. You know what I'm saying? And they knew something was wrong because they found her slippers and they found the knife that she was carrying on the ground. But she was inside the snake. You know what I'm saying? She was inside the snake. So you can prepare yourself for a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? In this YTC, but it doesn't mean you're going to be able to handle the situation when it presents itself. I'm telling you. And we see it playing out right here in front of us, bro. There's no way in hell, if I'm attaching myself to BLK, somebody's going to dog the premier fighter that they signing. And I'm the one that's up here, trying to make some shit happen. I'm going to say, man, y'all have to fall back. If y'all with me, you with me. If you're not, cool. But don't sit up here and go in on the team that they signed. How is that going to work come fight week? That's why these dudes burn down bridges with these fighters, and then something materialized like that, and we have a whole investigation going on if Blue was actually colluding the entire time. Hey, go figure, right? Hey man, figure it out yourself. I'm not gonna sit here and do a whole live on that shit. When people want to make goddamn side deals and shit, hey, you got to be willing to stand on it, homie. Willie on deck. Errol even said he thought the fight could be in January, and this was a perfect setup to legitimize Spence versus Thurman in-house fight and money. Yes, sir. Talk to him, brother. Talk to him. Real talk. Man, real talk, man. They think you gotta have hundreds of motherfuckers in here to talk some truth to these motherfuckers, man. How we gonna separate and make... Look, how anyone's gonna make history on the YTC for an event like this? If you have a company that's upstarting, in the boxing game, not as a company, but upstarting in the boxing game, right? Well, they need people to know how to organize shit to make it grow effectively. You don't need fast growth. You know what I'm saying? You need to allow it to be planned properly first, so it can progress to a point where you don't have to continue to go back and fix shit. All you gotta do is just plan it and build it up and allow it to progress and stay on the timeline. Keep it fresh in the minds of those who's tuning in on YTC. If you're not willing to do that and you want to keep it all project, ghetto, low level, then expect people to come in here and criticize the shit. But the names of the channels I mentioned, that panel will be interesting. You know why it will. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't fucking with Crawford, they ain't gonna fuck with the promotion like that. Seriously. That's how you got people on the YTC. If they ain't fucking with a certain fighter, man, please. They're not gonna support BOK like that. And they looking at a person that's supposed to be a part of their group. You either gotta just give your testimony and surrender that you made a deal, or stick to the plan. What matters more to you? The groups that you've been around all this time and supporting? Shout out to the Almighty. Well, if that's the case, then you should speak to them, because they're not understanding why, if they was pushing Errol Spence heavy, why you over here doing the Crawford deal. And then I see slowly but surely some people trying to come over here to Crawford. Man, that's just a rebound shit, bro. I don't respect that rebound shit just based off business. What if BLK wouldn't have happened? What if the situation or whatever, Crawford wouldn't have pulled up on you supposedly at 7-Eleven? What would have happened? It still would have been videos going up talking about what he ain't doing, what Errol Spence. If this damn negotiation was still active, y'all still be making videos and talk about this, and this that Crawford ain't doing? All alone, it's the suitors? Okay, I got it. Appreciate y'all comments and input. Spence mentioned January because negotiations kept dragging along. SMLOS had already publicly admitted they would like time for the promotion. Mitch, you have to look at, if Spence said January, you still have to lock on the venue. You still have to know all those details when it comes to the administrative logistics and making that shit happen. He can say January all day long, but if a venue wasn't locked on, if he don't know what's going on with the promo, the press tour, and all this other stuff that has to happen, if he ain't on the phone, making the phone calls, it ain't no way you fighting at the first of the year. How many big fights? Who would want to fight at the first of the year in January? That makes no sense. Who want to do that shit? First of all, the people just coming off the holiday season, first of all. And a lot of people are coming off the New Year's, bringing in the New Year's. They spending money. You got to let that shit, evaporate a little bit. Get people settling in to 23 and then throw a fight. I wonder if Blue made any contact with Fight Hype to ask them why they didn't want to join forces with BLK Prime, because they might have put up some red flags for Blue. See? Once again, I appreciate that, Toby. I appreciate that shit right there when it comes to intelligent questions. That right there. Why? I didn't even ask that. Has that happened? Those of you that's tuned in is going to run back and tell. Please present this question. It makes all the sense in the world. It makes all the sense in the world, bro. Did you make a phone call back to Fight Hype and say, hey, bro, why y'all didn't take that collaboration? Come on, man. Matter of fact, I forgot I had somebody's number. Hell no. I totally forgot I had somebody's number. Hold up for a second. Okay. Alright. I got somebody's. I sure enough do. I totally forgot. Because we covered the fight together. I'm about to make this call. Where he at? Let me see. I'm about to find out. That's a good point, Toby. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep on going to the chat. I gotta catch up. Going on Bernie ain't hurting shit. Going in on Bernie ain't hurting shit. Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is, Mitch. Absolutely. You can't treat him like he ain't shit. Look, put it this way. How many individuals who you've known to know a fighter when they was coming up through the amateur ranks and they still a part of the team? So if you grew up with a childhood friend and y'all grew up and be in the same workplace and they on YouTube with you, you're not gonna defend them? If you know that's your partner and he on here and somebody going in on him, you're not gonna defend him? So it's like Bernie known Bud since he was 7. He shouldn't defend him. He shouldn't be the mouthpiece. Bud is not going to get on here every day and talk. That's not what he does. I don't find hardly any fighter on here talking every day. But you're trying to say talking shit about him is not going to, fuck up anything? Yes, people look at this. They hit replay. Absolutely it does. You know what I'm saying? You think Bernie don't talk to somebody on the stand? You think Bo Mack ain't frequenting these streets? Yes. So if we trying to talk about doing a deal and raising our level of professionalism, and we talking about individuals who's putting up millions, what's up with all the ghetto ass shit? Now, if it was no specific channel that was attached to BLK Prime, cool. But if you want to do a live and talk and try to advocate for Blue, but yet you're tearing down Team Crawford, don't make any sense, brother. Don't make any sense. Andrew on deck. How you feeling, brother? Tony Boswell, much respect at World Combat Sports in the chat. Stop by the show, support, and hit the like button. Just got the work. Salute to Tony Boswell in the building, man. Thank you for pulling up, brother. I'm trying to, let me find this dude. I am curious now. I know where you at. Come on, man. Where you at? I have this dude. He's cool too, man. He works for Fight Hype. Yes, sir. I'm going to ask this question tonight if he knows. Yes, sir. Let me see. Come on now. I'm always big up. Yeah, shout out to Tony, man. Getting up. Shout out to Blood Boxing on deck, man. Retro Boxing documentary. Salute to you. I have a phone contact with somebody. I just seen him on TV too. Okay. Y'all hold on for a second. I'm gonna make this phone call right quick. I'm gonna put you on mute for a second. I'm about to call this dude up. Hold on. Hold up, y'all. He didn't pick up because he don't know my number. Hold up for a second. Well, he did pick up, but he didn't know my number. All right, couldn't make that happen right now. He's gonna give me a call back. But great question, Toby. I would have definitely wanted to know that little piece of information. Why didn't Fight Hype collabo with MLK Prime? Very, very good question. Solid question. Respect it. Respect it. Willie say, man, chat, smash the like button, fam. This is some real teaching. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the ones who's in the chat. I really want to get your opinion, especially since Blood's in here too. Tony, Toby in here, Big Blunts and Boxing, Captain Chaos. You know what I'm saying? I want to get y'all opinion on some of the questions that I wrote down, that I jotted down on my description. And I just want to get your understanding, because I've already written partial of an article that's dealing with the YTC, but I want to get the input from some of the people that frequent, who have channels themselves, that have been here even longer than me. So I want to first ask the question, has there ever been a YTBC or an organization union that exists to report on the sport of boxing? What I mean by that, on this social media platform, when they talk about the YouTube boxing community, have you ever seen any type of channel have a contribution to any major fight? Has there been any channel, like, in light of what we're seeing, and it's not that he has any influence, the much as we talk about boxing, has any of what we report on the sport influenced the fight to happen, influenced any shape or form? Have you ever witnessed it on the YouTube community, via the YouTube boxing community? You know what I'm saying? I just want to know and get your thoughts on that. And all the questions I pretty much wrote down over there, and y'all can answer them as you see fit. It's all good. Shout out to Captain Chaos for the $2 super chat. BF rocks with Blue, but he shits on Bud and LDBC love. I know. That's why I said, he should have him on the panel along with some other people, so they can iron out the changeover. Fans from Pro Spence to freaking Team Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So if they're gonna support, then guess what? Either they're gonna support you as a man. You know what I'm saying, for what you have going on, or not. They're gonna be like, nah, we ain't fucking with that. Well, hey, there you go. There you go. So Big Blunt say, I never seen any unity. D-Ray Promotions on deck. Salute to you. One honor on deck. So we're not gonna take a lot of time. I haven't seen any Y.T.B.C, so to speak, community, or anybody have any influence on any of this, or making any major fights. You know what I'm saying? Building up any potential fights. I haven't seen it. We had the opportunity to be the bear witness when the Devin Haney and Gary Russell Jr. situation was going down. You know what I'm saying? We always got to bring in Batman, because Batman was putting in stupid hours with Bill Haney. Stupid. Then look, when you wake up, they was talking. I mean, I still to this day wonder, like, I always said they wasn't gonna drop that November date, but they was putting in hours all day, dog, for Devin Haney just to go in there and fight Yukis Gamboa in November. Next question. Reporting boxing on YouTube, has it contributed to its growth in any way? What you hear on YouTube, I know it can somehow build on your common knowledge, but we find a lot of times, if you frequent YouTube, depends on who you're looking at, who you're listening to. You can increase your knowledge base, but if you just listen to 1-2 channels, and those channels are basically influenced to be biased in one specific direction and support one specific or two specific fighters, that's what your limitations are going to be. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen it contribute to the growth of the sport? The only thing I can say is it does have a small range of growth when it comes to knowing what's going on in the sport of boxing. There are some channels out here that is privy to certain information that a lot of them isn't. Every content creator really isn't a boxing fan, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Every content creator that created a channel, that's as far as their creation goes. They created a freaking boxing channel with a logo on that motherfucker, and they create some damn lives every now and then. That doesn't mean they're a hardcore boxing fan. They go to their daily jobs and come back in this bitch and watching and listen to everybody else. That don't mean they do their own research. So I contribute a small grade of knowledge base on YouTube because it's just too much contamination, bro. You get channels just making videos on a fighter they don't like. How conducive is that? It's not. But to them, they feel like their fan base is going to continue to show up just to hear them talk shit about the same fighter. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really expanding across the board when you have thousands upon thousands of fighters, man. From a casual, next question, number 3, from a casual fan perspective, let's see. Appreciate that, Blunts. You know you got people come over here just saying anything. From a casual perspective, are you confident the YTC collectively is a dependable source of boxing reporting? From a casual fan perspective, are you confident the YTC collectively is a dependable source for boxing reporting? That means, can you listen to the YTC, retain information, and feel that it's productive? Like this information that I'm getting is credible. I can take this information and go out there to Fight Mag or SB Nation or Boxing News 24 or a Boxing Scene, ESPN, CBS Sport. I can go to all these areas and I'm going to see this information that I heard on YouTube. I can go to Twitter. A lot of people live off Twitter. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people live off Twitter. Hold on for a second. Hold up. Okay. Well, speaking of information, you know, people's up here saying that Brian Norman was going to be on the undercard of Omaha. That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. He is not fighting on that card, and I don't think he's no longer freaking with BLK. And that's straight from his mouth and his mouth. That's who I was communicating with also. So I appreciate that information there, Brian. They was up here reporting that he was going to be on the undercard. No, we ain't building nothing off our fake news. You know what I'm saying? I think they did my boy dirty anyway. You know, you want to parade him around here. Let's see how many other times you get him up on here, shawty, for real. Because he's supposed to be the face of BLK and he's 22-0. But yeah, he just get tossed off to the side. Like, that don't mean he can't box. You know what I'm saying? Don't mean he can't box. He still can box. What's next? Nothing, man. Depends on where you're getting your information. Solid. It does depend on where you're getting your information. Real talk. It does. That's why even the channels I don't want to listen to, I pay attention to some of what they're talking about. Because I'm at a point right now that I can pretty much separate, you know, what's credible and what's not. And also I can separate it if I've heard it recycled on other channels within the YTC. I have enough experience and listening hours to separate the shit. And then it gets to a point where you can kind of understand and listen to certain people who come in here and talk the boxing shit, and you'll know what channel they've been listening to. Real talk. It'll become very familiar with you. Most channels say they have sources, but if their sources is the same place, they're going to be following the same narrative. Most channels say they have sources, but if their sources is the same place, they're going to be following the same narrative. Yes, sir. You got to switch it up. You have to listen to people that you don't support heavy. Still listen to what they say. If they all about the bullshit sometimes, if they thumbnail tell you where they at right then, guess what? They're more so focused on talking about one thing. I try to get my info from everywhere personally. I look under the bed, I overturn rocks if I got to. Now, with all the ad libs and shit, you know what I'm saying? I get it, but looking under the bed and under rocks, let me see. I don't know what you're gonna get from that, for real. Shout out to More Real Rap, man. First time seeing you on the channel, but I do know who you are. Salute to you, brother. I do know who you are, man. I think I was listening to you not the other day. You were speaking on something. You was dropping the gem though. Real talk. My next question was name 5 channels who are on the team of a boxer, administratively, logistically, or physically. Can you name 5 channels who are actually involved with a fighter? Like, I'm talking about you are a part of the team. You are handling business with that team. You are not just a media person, not just a media voice, not just a media segue. You actually have dealings with the team. Can y'all name 2, 3, 4, 5 on this YTC? Because if you can't name 5 at least, this is not a YouTube boxing community. How many channels can you name that's actually linked up with a fighter that you know, or a fighter that you don't know? You know what I'm saying? Who can do that? Yeah, I feel you. Appreciate that you be cooking too, fam. Appreciate you. You know, shout out to More Real Rap in the building, bro. I forgot who channel I just seen you on the other day, man. You broke something down. I think it was about the Crawford situation. The Crawford and Spence situation, I think. K9 boxing. Okay. Now we talking. Okay. So that's a bit extreme. Big Blunts. That's a bit extreme. You know why? Because K9 used to be a boxer, first of all, former world champion. That's a bit extreme, brother. Maybe I should have said no former boxers, but I can't do that because that would be pretty much discriminating. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep it as the question I asked, man. So we got K9, Greg Hackett for sure. Greg Hackett over there in Philly, right? I think. Shout out to Greg Hackett. You know what I'm saying? I used to see Greg Hackett when he was just on YouTube and doing that. But Greg Hackett, K9. All right. And look, all these are channels that are not common names that we used to hearing on here. Easy Route. Okay, Easy Route. That's 3. Easy Route. Shout out to Prince. I was just on this channel the other night. So we got K9, Greg Hackett, Easy Route. There you go. Shaw News. That's 4. He's on deck with Team Tucker. Name a 5th one. That's basically linked up with the fighter. That's linked up with a fighter that's active. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say amateur, more so professional level. You know what I'm saying? That's on the professional level. That has a YouTube channel, so to speak. Shaw News has a. Greg Hackett has it. Well, YSM is out there. You know what I'm saying? I just gave you a little hint. I don't know if YSM is somewhat affiliated with any fighter in there, but I know he does cover Boots in his heavy, and he does cover. I seen Cool Boy Steph out there. You know, Greg Hackett and all them. Yeah. Fight Hype Floyd. Okay. I was waiting on somebody to say Fight Hype Floyd since I've been talking about them all day. Toby said Fight Hype Floyd. Absolutely. Now, I wouldn't say like people wouldn't know that, but Fight Hype has a pretty damn good solid presence. And look, using Fight Hype, people get mad because they have all these credentials and shit. But peep this out. These dudes get the exclusive from Floyd because they stuck with him when Floyd was getting all this criticism. So Floyd said, I'm gonna give y'all the exclusive each and every time. They get the exclusive, y'all. They get the exclusive from Floyd Money Mayweather, man. They constantly know they're gonna get content. If they meet up physically, somebody from Fight Hype, Goddamn, Floyd know who they are. He's gonna give them the exclusive. But yet we have people on here talking about, oh, that's clout chasing, that's this, that, and the other. Brother, Fight Hype get the exclusive. They're gonna continue to get views because of who they messing with. They just don't cover Floyd, but Floyd is a huge name when it comes to boxing. Great point. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? There you go. You got K9 Boxing, Greg Hackey, Easy Route, Spence, Shaw News. You know what I'm saying? Fight Hype. I haven't heard of Dan Canabio. I haven't heard of him. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to listen through because most channels are about gossip more than facts. And that's kind of where I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Can you get true, solid boxing content? Because every time I turn around, somebody feeling some type of way about something I said. I do keep it on boxing, but every now and then I do speak on a situation. I don't consider it to be gossip. I just feel if you put it in a video for public record, we can speak on it, just like people can speak on me. Pancho don't have shit to do with Team T.O., man. I was covering T.O. long before. He ain't got shit to do with Team T.O. You know what I'm saying? No, Toby, I gotta call BS on that. He might have communication, but I had communication before that. You know, it's a Spanish thing going on, whatever. They falling out too. Man, hey, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Not at all. I can't put that out there. Not just content creator that has a freaking phone number. We talking about on deck. You know what I'm saying? I actually walked out with Teofimo Lopez in Texas. I actually walked out to the ring. So my question previous was name 5 channels who on the team of a boxer administratively, logistically, and physically, right? Okay, now moving to question number 5. Out of those 5 channels, how much has the fighter grown based off the informational reporting via social media, i.e. scheduled fights, sponsorships, or increased social media following? These channels that you mentioned, do they fighters get more exposure that they're linked up to? I believe so. Real talk. I believe so. Seriously. I believe so. Definitely get more, because I can tell you right now, Shaw News, he report on Jahad Tucker, but he report on other fighters. But Jahad Tucker get much more exposure, you know what I'm saying, when he's on the scene and he's covering the fight week and putting up all those videos and pictures and everything like that. His fighter, Jahad, definitely gets way more exposure. And then you have to look at YSM that's out there in Philly covering Jerron. Jerron, he's still waiting on the fight, but YSM is out there. He's one of the primary media that's out there covering and doing interviews with Greg Hackett. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely say they are getting more exposure. Definitely they're getting more exposure. They're linked up with a fighter. He's linked up with Boots Ennis that's going to be a future world champion, man. So he's going to get that exclusive content. Just like Fight Hype. Fight Hype is always going to get the exclusive content, man. That's always going to bring viewers in. It's nothing wrong with being a fan of the fighter and supporting the team. Done Dot on deck. Salute to you. Muddy waters for sure, but YouTube is a big reason why boxing is relevant. Definitely have to sift through the bullshit, but boxing is alive and well on YouTube. Okay, let me okay, when you say boxing is relevant, YouTube is a big reason why boxing is relevant. Now, being that I go to fights, right? If boxing was relevant from YouTube, there would be many more channels that's able to get approved to cover the boxing events. It would be much more of us out here able to cover the boxing events if we had that type of influence on these promotions. It would be much more out there, right? Not only that, you saying YouTube is a big reason. I'm saying not all these channels go to fights. So you're trying to tell me, and we're just having a conversation, Mitch. You're trying to explain to me that the individuals that's as online, more so rather than being on the front line, is gonna know more about the boxing cards and the sport than I do, from hearing what goes on deck with the teams, seeing how the process works out. That's where it goes a little bit to the left. Like, it helps out sometime, but I don't think the sport of boxing is relevant because of YouTube, because boxing was happening long before goddamn the internet service was even happening. And then if YouTube makes boxing relevant, where's the pay? Where's the salary? If we put in all this work, why aren't we getting compensated outside of the viewership and the subscribers, for which YouTube take 30% anyway? And we get taxed on the money. You know what I'm saying? How are we making shit? How is YouTube a big reason boxing is relevant? I don't see it. I agree with you when they say you have to sift through the bullshit. No doubt about it. Every day, all day. But to say boxing is alive, if boxing was alive like that, more fighters would come visit YouTube. But you know why they don't, Mitch? It's because of the bullshit. Fighters support you one day, and then the next day, down the road, you have a fight, you don't look as good. They slandering your fucking name out here. If you didn't have individuals up here trying to have a fighter on, and it's, oh man, I just want to argue with him. I just want to argue with him. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen Bill Haney up here on YouTube going back and forth with somebody, and I'm saying, damn, you in a mansion, bro. But he do it because he that's what he does. He want to keep his face out here. He's doing a damn good job with keeping Devin name relevant out here in the YouTube community. But it's not a 2, 3, 4, or 5 Bill Haney's is out here for a fighter on that level. It's not. Every now and then Lopez Sr. show up. Not often. Bozy Ennis, he'll talk to YSM. You can check out the media. He talks. He's always out there. Father-son tandem. But you don't find too many freaking media outlets that's really having these fighters on. These fighters are willing to come on like that. David Benavidez made his rounds not too long ago, but we don't see him on a regular basis. And shout out to Team Benavidez, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. You and your pops, y'all really made your rounds in this YouTube community. Yeah, Pac-Man Tay Jones, yep, definitely on Team Wilder, yep, absolutely. That's another one. I watched this channel, Solid Info, not much YouTube trash over there. I recommend Tay channel for sure. Yeah, he's definitely linked up with Team Wilder. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you're talking about when you're talking about a fighter like Wilder in the heavyweight division, and having somebody that's actually out on YouTube, because he just started his channel not too long ago, but he does follow beneath the criteria for the question that I asked. He is on YouTube. He's a boxer, and he is tied in to Team Wilder. No ifs, ands, or buts. You see him on the walkout. You see him freaking going on behind the scenes at the pressers. Absolutely. Shout out to Team Bomb Squad. Hey man, you telling our age. Hey man, it ain't nothing we can do about it. You know what I'm saying? If I had the choice to go back to no internet, or to live in with internet, I go back to no internet any day. You know why? Because you actually knew who you was dealing with. You had to goddamn get your ass out and go to that person. You know what I'm saying? You had to go to the payphone, goddamn it. You had to go to the dirty ass payphone and call your girl up. You had to ask your friends, are you going to the football game from either a landline? If your parents was on the landline, you had to walk up to the local store and use the payphone. Shout out to Mr. Gumbo in the building, man. $5 super chat on deck. Salute WCS and the chat from South Dakota heading to Omaha. That's what it is. Man, you didn't even stop by and let me know what's up, man. Damn. He heading from South Dakota heading to Omaha. Man, tell Team Crawford and all them, man. They up in Colorado Springs, bro. I know you know that already. But tell them WCS send a big salute from the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? ATL, Georgia. Looking forward to seeing him back in the ring. Touch on deck, salute. He said, hey bro, what are your thoughts on the recent between Eddie Hearns and Mike Hawk regarding the Conor Benn case? Would appreciate a shout out watching from the UK. Shout out to the UK boxing fans over there. You know what I'm saying? They are an important part of boxing, real talk. They support boxing heavy over there. What's my thought on the whole situation with Conor Benn is just like I've been talking about boxing in general. You know, like the hocus pocus situation, you know, the black magic and everything that takes place. We expecting something to happen a certain way, but it don't. Anybody who know, Conor Benn looks pretty guilty, you know, his A sample being contaminated. When I say contaminated, I mean dirty. Okay, let me clean that up. His A sample came back dirty. Now, the fight was called off, even though Eddie Hearns was trying to make that fight happen. The BBOC said, no, we're done. It is what it is. So all of a sudden, we know there's a B sample out there. If the B sample is tested and it comes back dirty, now we have collateral information coming in from a person that's not even part of the anti-doping testing, right? Now we have a potential option, a reason that it may be dirty. It's called contamination. The contamination may have happened while it was being tested. Of course, you're right. It could be contaminated during the testing process. It can. But is it really in this case? Is he guilty or not guilty? Or are you just going to say, no? You know what I'm saying? They're saying that it was contamination in the lab. Well, we know from history with the Dillian White situation, I always talk about this, how David Blaine and freaking David, the two Davids was on deck, and they made goddamn Dillian White B sample disappear. They threw a motherfucking handkerchief over that shit. Pow! No, David, what are you doing? We need to test it. It's gone. My friend, it's gone. You told me, you invited me and my brother David over here to do magic. We did it. You said, make this B sample disappear, and we did. Now you mad at what you paid us to do? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's just the way it is, man. Like, to be honest with you, man, Conor Benn, if he's dirty, you're dirty, man. Looking at your physique and the transformation, dude, you're not on Wheaties. You're not on Wheaties. Captain Crunch, Cheerios, cornflakes. No, bro, you on something else. You look totally different. And I understand, bro. Listen, I'm not here to sit up here and banish you from boxing, because boxing has had plenty of fighters pop dirty. All I'm saying is, don't run the whole entire gamut as if you're innocent and you know you had to pack on muscle and you want to be strong. You know, Chris Eubanks Jr. ain't no damn motherfucking slouch. You had to pack on muscle, man. You had to you're gonna go through that training camp and continue to stay healthy. If you was taking something outside of clomiphene and it popped, take responsibility for it, dog. Take responsibility for it. That's all I'm saying. Don't sit up here and have Eddie Hearn saying, "Oh well, it could be contaminated from the lab." Everybody can say that shit. Appreciate you subbing, man. Appreciate you subbing. If you're in the building, you know what I'm saying? This is the first time I said, get the likes up. I only got 21 likes in here, man. You know, get the likes up, man. Look, it don't take that much. But shout out to Mr. Gumbo for the super chat, man. The $5 super chat on his way to Omaha. No doubt. Shout out to my guy Gumbo in the building. Expert Genius on deck. What's good, WCS and everyone? Let me ask this next question, number 6. In light of recent events with Crawford versus Spence negotiation expiring. Once again, in light of recent events with Crawford versus Spence negotiation expiring, is there one answer to sum up definitively as to why the fight did not happen? One answer. In light of all the information that you've now heard with the leaked audio and everything that's been spoken on, please provide me one answer as to why the fight didn't happen. Shout out to Trick Noti on deck, man. So WCS in the chat, salute. Trick in the building, Mr. Gumbo, what's good? Shout out to Trick on the check-in, man. Salute to you, bro. Man, Blunts and Boxing said he's on horse meat, man. So I'm curious to know if that horse is in Mexico, though. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about across the pond. I don't know if they feed that horse the same thing that they fed the horse that Canelo ate. I need to know, shawty. Somebody tell me, do they have the feed, the bag, the ingredients on the bag? Was he eating the same meat that Canelo was? Was that horse transferred from Mexico over there to the damn UK and they goddamn sliced it up, cooked it, and he tested positive? You know what I'm saying? We need to find it out, bro. But come on, man. In light of recent events with Crawford and Spence, y'all don't want to talk about that no more? Is there one answer to sum up why the fight didn't happen? Come on, man. Why the fight didn't happen? Just one answer. That's it. One answer as to why you believe the fight did not happen. People don't want to say it. People don't want to say it now. They can't point the finger either which way to the fighter. So that should make it easier for you. If you can't blame it on the fighters, put in the chat why it didn't happen. Educate the viewers. Okay, so Blunt said no definitive answers in my opinion. So there's no definitive answer that the fight did not happen in 2022. After his own record, that they wasn't the suits wasn't gonna have the fight till February. I appreciate you dropping it, but it's on record now that the fight wasn't gonna happen till February, and it wasn't at Crawford's culpability. It was PBC saying the fight wasn't gonna happen till next year. Some people trying to be politicians. There you go. Tim Smith and Al, man. PBC didn't want the fight, man. How hard is that? Blunts, what you doing? Trying to damn run for office? You trying to run for office? Man, you know damn well why the fight didn't happen. It's out now. The truth is out. The truth is out there, Big Blunts. The truth is out. No, I don't want to hear that. No, don't sit up here and play the fool, shouty. You do, man. You be in them YouTube streets all times of the motherfucking daytime and night. Don't act like you don't know according to that. You know, man. Shit. Well, goddamn it, unlock the damn answer to the question, goddamn it. Unlock that motherfucker. Look, Unlock that. In light of recent events with Crawford versus Spence negotiations expire, is there one answer to sum up the definitively as to why the fight didn't happen? Unlock that, man. Man, you know what it is. Willie say PBC didn't want the fight and would rather make the house fight. Listen to this man speak. PBC didn't want the fight, bro, and would rather make the in-house fight because they get more of the bag, in my opinion. He said PBC didn't want the fight and would rather make the house fight. That's simple as it get, bro. Because they get more of the bag, in my opinion. That's truth. That is factoid, man. They get more of an in-house fight. Plus, Al Heyman gets his percentage off both. We already done heard the in-house fight. You know, leading up to this, years and years of Crawford Spence, you know, talking on here. What do they always used to say? Across the street bullshit. And then we had all these fighters fighting because they was under the same promotional banner. So being that Crawford knew that, he made his move. Still wasn't enough. They kept the man on the outside, man. They dangled us around for a year. And Blunt's tried to be a politician tonight. Damn. Tell me I'm just a lock, man. God damn. I'm telling you, bro, they're going to start a narrative for EJ to drop the belts, like testing positive for drugs. Duck Boots campaign about to start. Yeah, man. Talk that shit. They're going to try to come up with a nice little pillow for him to lay his head on when he started dropping those belts. Oh, Spence, we brought you a nice Posturepedic pillow, specially made for you. You know why? Because you did so much heavy lifting. And we want to make sure when you vacate these belts, you don't pull a muscle. You know what I'm saying? You don't, pinch a nerve or anything. We just want you to be as comfortable as possible. For real, man. They talk about all that heavy lifting he did. Now it gets very, very grimy. It gets grimy, man. You know what I'm saying? He got the dogs in weight. They ain't trying to have him fight Crawford. We still trying to see if this fight card gonna hold up. I hope it does, just so he can get paid his money. I hope he get paid his money. Then he can go into the Spence fight. And they talking about they was gonna give the man what, 15 million or something like that. If that's what it is, that's a rumor. Shit, 25 ain't bad. 25 for 2 fights ain't bad, shawty, for real. The truth accidentally came out the truth's mouth. Accidentally came out the truth's mouth. The truth came out the truth's mouth. For real. Look, he thought he was in a natural conversation with no motive. And I believe what he was saying. I believe what he said, man. It was natural. It was natural when he was talking to Espinosa. It was natural. And all of a sudden it's leaked. That's a damn shame, shawty. Laugh my ass off. I don't know a motherfucking thing. Ask Spence fans why it ain't happening to get one answer. Ask Bud fans, you get a different answer. Man, please. Now we got politicians in the chat. Oh my God, dog. Damn, people running for office, man. Refuse to answer questions directly. Playing both sides of the fence. We already have a channel playing both sides of the fence and catching hell. What are you trying to take that position for, dog? I'm gonna keep this shit real with you. I honestly have no idea why it ain't happening. I'm not saying y'all answers don't make sense, but I can't give a definite answer without the actual facts. What more facts do you have? Spence said the fight wasn't, he pretty much said it was gonna happen in 2023, and the contract had no negotiation deadline, brother. None. No deadline, brother. It had no deadline. What happened when you trying to negotiate a fight with no deadline? You die. You looking and looking and looking and looking and looking as, you know what I'm saying? You die. You just sit there on the computer. Oh my God. For freaking 4 or 5 months. You just waiting on the contract. There's no deadline set on the paperwork. They playing around with you. Spence coming from Disney World. It's just too much going on, brother. How can you say you don't know, man? They had no deadline to the negotiations. No deadline. What is that telling you? I can tell you what it's gonna give you. This right here. This what you're gonna do. This what you're gonna be doing, bro. That's what you're gonna be doing right there. Heard he about to pull a Loma Canelo WBC franchise. I said that a long time ago about, you know, them inserting a franchise possibly somewhere. I didn't say welterweight exactly, I forgot. But I hope they don't put a franchise at welterweight. The reason why is because it makes no sense to do that unless they want to give, once again, the suitors want to allow Errol Spence to move up to 154 and get a direct title shot. So with that said, he don't have to be pressed by facing mandatories. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Suleiman is going to do that way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just waiting on negotiation process that has no deadline. You're dying. Real talk. You're going to grow old very, very quick. Stress the fuck out. I'm standing at the fence watching niggas play and argue with each other through the fence. That's not all I'm doing. That's not exactly true when you're on the panel. When you're on people's panel, you're not standing by the fence. You know, standing in the fence is being in the chat all the time and never getting on the panel. When you jump on the panel, you actually, you know, have opened the gate and you entered. And you chose to sit up here and play with the voices that you are in the company of. You're not standing at the fence no more. For real. Comment on some why is the water wet shit. Fight didn't happen because Crawford didn't take the deal. Crawford never you know, was the final one to send back the contract. When they sent him back the contract, like it's already been put out there, brother, it was for 2023. So how then Crawford didn't take the deal? They sent him back a revision, didn't they? And he read the revision and he didn't respond. It was no time limit on negotiation. So how he didn't take the deal? So he's supposed to say, yeah, I'm gonna wait to 2023. Was it even a specified date? Was it a specified date for 2023? If it was and he's not signed with PBC, well, goddamn it, he's able to fight David Avanesian getting paid 10 mics. You know what I'm saying? That man able to get 10 mics, man. You can't put the situation on him, man. Mitch, from this day forward, right? When you go out this new year, man, I hope you change your ways for real. And stop trying to be that person that don't want to give Crawford no love. I hope you change your way. I hope you go to church on New Year's too. You know what I'm saying? I hope you go buy a new suit and goddamn go to church on New Year's and bring in the goddamn first day of 2023. And you pray for Team Spence. You pray for them. That's what I want you to do, man. For anything you need to do, man, I hope you pray for Team Spence so we can get this fight done. And he know more about what Al Heyman got going on, him and Floyd. You need to talk to Spence about that. My next question is, hearing BLK Prime intro into boxing. What's your grade from 1 to 10? Do you rate their survival in the sport? How do you rate their survival in the sport? 10 being the lowest. So hearing BK Prime is on deck. and they're trying to, sign these big name fighters, and you hear the money out there. Adrian's supposedly 3-fight deal, 20-something million or whatever. What do you rate their potential survival in the sport? Do you think they're going to be long-standing, or they're going to crash and burn? I just want to hear y'all take on that. From what you know already, from what you've witnessed and everything with BOK Prime and what's going on with them, do you think they're going to be able to have sustainability? What you rate their potential? 10 being the lowest, you know what I'm saying, and 1 being the highest. Is the water wet type of shit? What do you rate them? You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Will they survive? Will BOK Prime survive? Will they survive as the new kid on the block? You know what I'm saying? Or will they be a one-hit wonder? I gotta talk to Young, that's all. I gotta swear I don't understand still. Okay. Spence should feel double let down by people close to him. Once by whoever recorded him, and again by whoever leaked it. Yes, sir. No loyalty in the game, man. No loyalty in the game. He should. No doubt. Now, why Crawford didn't accept the deal is on PBC. Combat knows I was one of the first to say PBC never really wanted this fight. I mean, if you're saying that Combat knows I was one of the first to say PBC never really wanted to fight, why be antagonistic and talk about Bud then sign the damn contract then, shawty? What's going on, man? Why the ebbs and flows in personality, shawty? What's going on, man? If you say you was one of the first, why can't you just say that instead of talking about is the water wet type of shit? What's going on here, man? It's supposed to be the holiday spirit, bro. What you sipping on, first of all? If you got eggnog and you pouring yak in that motherfucker, you need to chill. I need your undivided attention, Mitch. I need you to focus, brother. If you up here fucking around with eggnog and we still a month plus out from Christmas and all that, relax with that. Relax. That shit gonna make your stomach hurt, all that. We know why the fight didn't happen. The suitors didn't want it to happen. The suitors at PBC, and that shit trickled down on Errol Spence, and they put the damn audio out to even make it more worse that he said he didn't want to fight Thurman, for which I hear they trying to mandate him to fight Thurman. That's not a good look, bro. We talking about figuratively, not literally. I jumped on the panel to address Blue Blood, not nothing related to Bud or Spence. No. I wasn't talking about me. I'm talking about other channels that you was on the panel. I ain't talking about me. I wasn't talking about me. I was just talking about other channels. If you say you're just standing at the fence and you hop on the panel, you're not the fence no more. You decide to enter. But let me see. Nobody wants to talk about BOK Prime. Shame on y'all. You didn't even want to put a number in there to see what their survival rate is. Man, shame on y'all. Moving on to question number 8. If you had to guess how many channels would actually pay for and support their first fight card, them being BOK, what would you guess? You even drop names. Who do you think is actually going to pay and support BOK Prime? The channels that's supposed to support, you know what I'm saying, boxing in general. I would think it would be even more channels purchasing the pay-per-view because they probably want to see Crawford lose. You know what I'm saying? They probably want to see Crawford lose, man. Some of the channels. If you had to guess, just out the ones you know, what's a roundabout number of the channels you think that's actually going to pay? I know people been making their rounds and they're saying, hey, I paid for that, I paid for this, I paid for that. I get it. But do you actually think, because I don't hear no promotion going on about, I want y'all to support BOK Prime. I want y'all to buy the pay-per-view. It's $39.99. It's not going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Just reduce the amount of candy that you get for freaking your kids' Halloween. Put that shit aside and pay for a fight in December, goddammit. That's all you got to do. Yeah, that recording is that shit. It's almost like they recorded that motherfucker with old type of walkie-talkies and shit. Real talk, man. That recording was shabby. I doubt Spence will want franchise tag. I also don't think it'll happen unless Spence fight Thurman first. WBC wants that fight. I'm not talking about you either. Oh, okay. All right, for sure. 5. I'm 50-50 on their survival at the moment. Okay. All right, Toby. Okay, Toby say they give him a 5. He put him right there at the halfway mark. He give him a 5 on survival rate. We shall see. We shall see what the survival rate's gonna be, people. We shall see. I want them to survive, bro. I want them to flourish, thrive. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be successful. It's tough in this boxing game. You got deep pockets? Let's go. Let's go. I think most Bud fans gonna buy it. I hope so. Whatever BLK grade was, it has to go lower as soon as they're affiliated with AB. Oh shit, man. Why y'all going at the black man like that? Why y'all going at the black man like that? For real, for real. Why are y'all going at the black man? Support the black man. I give a 7. But wish their current business model, they diminish successful probability. I understand where you're coming from with that. They came in here with a business model that looked a little unprepared, right? You know what I'm saying? They're used to the app and whatever other exterior, you know what I'm saying, streaming services that they attend to, you know what I'm saying, that they support. But when it comes to boxing, it's much more different. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more. Who's going to promote the fight? We don't know. We haven't seen too many other people speak. None of that shit. We haven't seen none of that. That's why I think that 7 speaks volumes, because it could be a lot better. All we doing is goddamn like throwing names out there. We hear the names, but we're not hearing any interviews. We're not getting clarity as to the fine details on who's gonna promote it. We got the pay-per-view price, yeah. We know where the venue's gonna be, but it would be good to know if they're gonna have a press tour. Is they gonna have a Zoom meeting? Something. I mean, give us something to go off of. Expert Genius said he gave him a 5.5. So we got people in here looking at it for what it's worth on the intro. You know what I'm saying? Blunts give him a 7. So we got Willie, Blunts give him a 7. You know what I'm saying? They got faith for their survival rate. They feel that they're gonna, they're gonna grow. We'll see. What's going on, Willie Lowe in the building, man? Shout out Team Bomb Squad on deck out of Tuscaloosa. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you pulling up on the scene. I think more channels will buy the pay-per-view after they've seen and heard the presser. Facts. That's the first time I said facts during this whole live. That is fact. Now, my question is, when we gonna see the pay-per-view presser? You know what I'm saying? When we're gonna be able to see the fighters talk? When is that gonna be? We're not getting any information. All we doing is the bag. These are questions that the liaison, Blue is the liaison between YouTube and up to the dang BLK. It would be good if we knew when a future press conference would be. If Toby's asking the question, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other people out here wondering, like, when are they gonna have the press conference, man? When we gonna know, when we can set eyes on Terrence Crawford and David Avanesian? And then the co-main event. Who is going to surprise us as a co-main event? We need a heavy hitter. We need a heavy hitter on the co-main event. Terrence Crawford is going to damn put butts in the seats anyway because they fuck with him in his hometown. They fuck with him in Omaha. Real talk. But we definitely, for the pay-per-view, from the remote fan base that's going to be tuned in via pay-per-view, we need to know who's going to be in the co-main event. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Talk to us, brother. This is something that really is a bit of sarcasm in it. But I just, when I see channels out here and they continue to, talk about views, it said out of 50 channels who report strictly on boxing, are they aware 0 of those 50 outlets have retired from the likes, views, super chats while serving on this platform? It's facts. If you take 50 channels, I can't find one. We're talking about straight up boxing channels who have retired and say, I'm making enough. I'm retiring off what I made off YouTube. It's not that way. So you would think since it's not that way, you would continue to plan and build a process on how to grow. You're not going to grow, continue to make thumbnails and just do the same thing. So if you're not willing to put plans in motion to get sponsorship and stuff like that, the next 5 years is going to go just like this. You're going to continue to talk. And then it's going to people up here trying to value the respect level between channels based off the subscribers. It shouldn't be that way. It should be based off what you're speaking on. You know what I'm saying? Are people interested? Your character? That's what it should be based off of. Not the, oh man, they only got 9,000 subscribers, man. Oh, they only had so many people in the building. I'm cool. I'm just saying, bro. Yeah, man, we need that. We need to see when the first press is going to be. The main event and co-main event. You know what I'm saying? Just give us that. Matter of fact, you're the reason I stopped saying facts so much. Man, I don't say that shit because other people say facts all the time. That shit is absolutely not the case. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You'll tell Blue Punk ass we need the presser and we need it now. We do, man. You know what I'm saying? We need that shit. Yeah, subs don't mean shit. Subs don't mean shit, man. I don't want no gullible freaking listeners. I want them to think for themselves, man, like they would if they was around their family. You know what I'm saying? That's who I'd rather have. I'd rather have the ones that act the same around their family and they jump in the chat and they still reciprocate their behavior. You know what I'm saying? Not mothers on here. They got their family in the house and they screaming and yelling and shit and their kids over here. Mommy, is he okay? Should I call 911? Did he take his meds? What is going on? Who is he talking to? Uncle? Auntie? Hey, number 10. Just a soft number. How many families have split because of the divorce from unacceptable behavior, arguing with like-minded adults about boxing into the twilight hours on this YouTube shit? Man, you cannot tell me it hasn't been people that's in a relationship or family, but these cats be on here into the twilight hours, bro. Arguing about shit, cussing each other out, talking, and they family can't hear them. Look, it's a lot of dudes that I know that's not really cuddled up or cozied up. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're single, you can pick and choose, who your company is. But if you got a family, your whole family you laid up to, and your girl there, and you yelling every day, bro, I don't know about that. I just don't hear the women doing that. Like, I haven't really heard the women go in on a consistent basis. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the women, man, they much older. I don't know, man. I don't know. Shout out to Coach Malachi on deck, man. New media today, USA Boxing in the building. Salute to you, Coach. Coach got one of the hottest channels in the game right now. I ain't gonna lie, man. You know what I'm saying? Continue to do what you do. I might fuck around and go live, play politician real quick or something. Do what you do, man. As long as you don't get up there playing for non-video for a whole fucking hour, we good. Because I'm gonna goddamn send you a super chat and then I'm gonna take that shit back. I'm gonna send you a motherfucking cash app. I'm gonna take that shit back, dog. I'm gonna call my bank. I say, hey, stop payment on that shit. He up here playing. Stop payment on that. He ain't accepted yet, right? Okay, cool. They're playing politician and shit, dog. Stop the madness, man. Stop the madness, dog. What's your topic gonna be, bro? What's your topic gonna be on today? You know, because that's the biggest question right there. Like, what are people talking about? What are people really talking about? It seems like they're gonna be left to talk about old shit throughout the holidays, because this Spence Crawford is split. It's done. It's over. Crawford on a whole nother side now, you know, preparing for a fight in Omaha. Spence, I don't know what he's doing. They got leaked audio and all this other stuff. Now you really got to focus. You know, even talking about Bam. Bam dropped the damn his WBC title. He's moving back down to 112. He dropped his title at 115 before even having the opportunity to face Roman Gonzalez, man, Juan Estrada. Shit like that. He stamped his print on there, his name, brother. He stamped his name, and then he said, I'm moving back down to 112, dog. I'm done. I'm out. Shout out to Bam Rodriguez, bro. I catch them shits too quick. You can never talk. I would pour me up some Ribby more than talk my shit. I'm a goddamn call the bank, man. I'm say, man, hey, fraud alert. Take that shit back. Our topic's gonna be what the fuck is going on. Okay, all right. A lot of those bigger channel subs are bought and paid for, to be honest. This is why the people who show up to the live shows don't match the subscriber counts. Real talk, coach. Real talk. You can pay attention to the chat. You know what I'm saying? And real talk, I see more people member-wise sub to your channel than I see at a lot of channels. A lot of people may be subbed, but they're not members. I've been on here for a while. I'm only a member of one channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm subbed to many, but I'm only a member to one channel. Believe me, there's a reason why I wasn't a member of channels before. Now, I've never been a member and closed down being a member. You know what I'm saying? That was the first show. I said, man, fuck it, I'm gonna be a member of this, because I don't think I'm gonna get the same repetitive reports all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. And then I get to hear the true. Get to hear you talk about the Wakandans, goddammit. Or you just want me to come out here and be a bud fan? No, I never once attempted to come to you as a scout and looking for you to sign that membership. At no point in time did I give you the paperwork on the term sheet and say, hey, Blunts, hey, man, I know there's no deadline on that bitch, but, man, get back with me on it. Get back with me. Come over to Team Crawford. Never, bro. I never did that shit, bro. I never put you in that situation. Think for yourself like you've been doing. When I say I'm going to send out memberships and all that, man, I'll just be tripping, man. I'm not even serious about that. I like Bam a lot, fam. He a really good young fighter. He is, man. Entertaining as hell, man. It's crazy how he shook it up over there, bro. Like, how is all what's supposed to be a range coach like? Rumfasai was supposed to be next in line for Juan Estrada. They elevate Juan Estrada to the franchise champion, and that eliminates and push Rumfasai to the side, while they try to set up what I thought would be Juan Estrada and Roman Gonzalez fight, Chocolatito, right? I'm still waiting on that trilogy. So in the meanwhile, Bam comes up, and Juan Kudras, he steps in for Rumfasai, who caught COVID. He go in there, beats Kudras, and then he gets to fight Rumfasai, who literally should have got the shot at Juan Estrada anyway. He should have got the shot, but they elevated him to franchise champion. So Bam go in there and stops Run for Sai, yo. What? He goes in there and stops this dude. What? I know Run for Sai a little bit older. Dude got like 300 fights and shit. But Bam goes in there and stops him, dog. Man, come on, man. That shit was turned all the way up, man. Shout out to Bam Rodriguez, bro. And not to mention, shout out to Robeisy Ramirez, man. They on fight week right now over there at NYC. Him and Lomachenko going there to fight Jermaine Ortiz, man. But I like Robeisy Ramirez, man. Having the opportunity to see what he did to Abraham Supernova, man, shout out to Team Nova. But I just happen to have one of the illest pictures of Robeisy Ramirez knocking Abraham Nova out and standing over him, man, like a motherfucking debt collector, like a mercenary. Dude is different. Like the smirk he had on his face when he was fighting Nova. Dude had a smirk on his face. Like, I'm telling you, he about to get this title this week, man. He about to get this title for sure. He's about to get this title. Now, for real, I'm probably pull up some classic fights and watch them while discussing the audio. Okay, for sure. All right. Only a member to coach. Yeah, for sure. Same here. Coach don't kick me because I'm over here listening to WCS. Coach don't do no shit like that. I ain't never heard him talk about that bullshit that goes on with them other channels. They up here talking about, man, get from over here. If y'all over here supporting this shit, man, y'all a bunch of hoes and all this. Man, no, y'all the hoes. Y'all hoe ass motherfucker come over here to other people's channel screenshotting. Nah, we ain't gonna fuck that. I'm gonna block you. You over there supporting them. You're not gonna really have genuine supporters if you're trying to dictate what grown people are doing. Because those same people, if they really paying attention to what you're talking about, they're gonna stay with you, regardless if they on somebody else's shit. That's where it gets a little bit crazy, man. Like these dudes be in there trying to explain to their supporters to be loyal to them or else. But yet they want you to give a super chat every now and then and support them and join the channel and all this other stuff. And they're trying to dictate. That's the problem. I'm able to check the IP addresses to these older channels, my brother. I'll show you how to audit a channel. WCS. I have a background in marketing. I learned a lot from my mentor, Roberto Blake. Damn. Okay. You auditing. Okay. IP addresses, internet protocol. I mean, that was what I did on a level of communications in the military, dealing with databases, servers, and all that shit. But I ain't really fucked around like that. I had to hit you up on IG. I had to drop you my number on IG, coach. You know what I'm saying? At Willie Cole, salute my brother, man. Love your name. That's a pimp name, my brother. Yeah, for real. Willie Cole. For real, I have to I don't know what you are on IG. If you knew me this day, USA Boxing on IG, I just get with you on IG, man. You know what I'm saying? But I have did that in the past with somebody else. I've gotten them to do it because I just wanted to find out what some people was that was talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? We did. We found out where they were. You know what I'm saying? Where they was at. For real. It's not impossible. Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing with the $5 super chat on deck. I'm finna take this shit back. Let me call my bank real quick. But see, you messed up. You didn't listen to me there, Blunts and Boxing. I said Cash App. See, you can't take shit from YouTube. Because YouTube, you try to take it back, they already gonna take their 30%. For real. You know, look, can you imagine if they had that shit? If you was able to send a super chat and snatch that shit back? Nah. It would be Armageddon over this bitch, man. People be losing their mind. You just sent me $100, good brother. Where did the $100 go? I took it back. Why would you do that, good bro? You sent me something, you taking it back? What are we talking about, man? Man, come on, good brother. Send that back. Send that back. Motherfuckers be losing their mind, dog. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just hit me up on IG, World Combat Sports. I'll definitely drop my number, man. Communicate. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Coach Malachi doing the damn thing. I give you this. You have a lot going on your channel that requires you to know what the fuck going on. Like you up here itemizing questions for the guest, and you know what I'm saying, bulletizing stuff on your YouTube channel, putting a little video in between, having the phone call. See, I don't do the phone call deals and all that. I'm just not trying to communicate with somebody, you know. Some baby mamas from Japan might try to call me up and shit. Oh yeah, I called in to the show because I wanted to talk about back in the 90s when you was in Japan. Yeah, my name's Suki Yankonoma. You remember? We used to go on some bike rides up in Naha, up in Hado Point. You remember that? Yeah, I just wanted to tell you, you got a kid that's about 15 years old. I'm in the States now. Can we meet up? Can we meet up? He's looking forward to meeting his papa. I said, if there's anything I was going to do, I was going to find out where you were staying at in the States. Shit. They come over here looking for you, bro. What's going on? Shot News, the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime in the building. To the 13 pay-per-views, for real. For real, man. Now, he did a funny live about other channels snatching wrenches because they somewhere else. The crap was funny. Yeah, man. Bro, I try not to talk about any other, like how they administratively treat their supporters. It's crazy. You gonna snatch wrenches? For real? Like, not to mention some of those people come over here just to be nosy. You know, because when I was talking that shit and doing the live on the Champ Side video, I went over to watch his chat, and there was people over here that I didn't even see in my chat that was over here whining about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Over here crying. I hope you do a reaction to that. I hope you do this. I hope you do that. It was nothing to do a reaction on, man. That wasn't a good look. That wasn't a good look at all. That wasn't a good look, especially in light of what we see that's going on. You look down there, your wrench is gone. Well, people, I am at 3 hours. It's been on and popping. My last point, I said, how many kids have ran away from home after discovering their father and mother health is declining from full-blown social media animosity? You know what I'm saying? That was number 11. How many kids have ran away from home after discovering their father and mother health is declining from full-blown social media animosity? That means those of you that get on here and argue and argue and argue. Now, I go through my stints if I have to go to the battlefields. I will, but it's not something I choose to do all the time. You know what I'm saying? I would rather just talk about boxing, MMA, and everything else. But you do have to address people. You do have to damn light up the torches, man. Because people can get complacent and they'll take your kindness for whatever they choose it to be and try to walk on you. You have to defend yourself. That's all I'm saying, bro. 60, 40, 70, 30, 80, 20. Take whatever we give you. Sign the contract. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? But if I see these channels, coach, still talking about the same shit they was reporting on before this news broke. I'm talking about the news that the fight wasn't happening. The news that they was going to have a fight in February 2023. The news that Crawford was now going with BOK Prime. And the revision that was sent back further consummated that the fight wasn't happening in 2022. What is he supposed to do? So if they still making videos talking about Crawford ducked, then they're casuals, bro. They're not even trying to be neutral with this information. They just straight up casuals. They just want to do it for argument. what I'm saying? I don't get no excess energy on criticizing Spence. I don't. That shit don't energize me at all. That shit don't energize me at all. But I was on record today. I said Spence said he would like to face Crawford because it was a legacy fight. So I can't sit up here and say that Spence don't want to fight. If he was being recorded and having a natural dialogue with someone he thought he could trust, and he said, I want to fight freaking Terrence Crawford, it's a legacy fight, but that guy Thurman, Keith Thurman, I don't want to fight that guy. I told Al I don't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? That was in his natural setting, so I believe him. I ain't gonna lie, I believe the dude. Like, he want to fight Crawford. I'm not gonna get on here and continue to say, oh, Errol Spence a duck. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it. He said he wanted to fight him because it was a legacy fight. Now we understand it was Al Heyman. It was the suitors. It's whoever that's in charge of making the decisions. That's what it is. But hey, y'all already know. Y'all already know, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up as always. Continue to support the channel. Hit the like button on the way out. And turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.